Balance in every stage of life. You know, it's not going to be the same thing.
This week we have Judie Mozie.
We really do underestimate a good night's rest.
Judy is an artist, holistic chef, and the founder of Cosmic Kichin.
There's some people who will eat whatever because that's what they have, you know?
Yeah. And in this episode of the Nate Biltz podcast, Judy brings a unique perspective on the profound connection between nutrition, human energy, and various artistic mediums.
What we want to eat and how we want to eat and what kind of choices we want to make is like, it's a privilege at the end of the day.
I wanted to talk about Cosmic Kichin. What is that?
The food business that I started. You know, I'm still very passionate about food, but food to me is so much more.
Before we get started, if you could do me one favor, if you received any value out of this podcast, please take the time to like and subscribe to the show. My goal is to keep growing this podcast and bring you the most creative and talented humans in the entire world. Taking the time to like, subscribe, and comment allows me just to do that. Thanks, y'all. We got Queen Judy in the house.
Hello.
What's crack-a-lackin'?
Not much. Enjoying the vibe.
Enjoying the vibe.
Here.
Thanks for coming. You get to be podcast of the year. Last one of the year. So what do we got here? Judy brought me a Nigerian juice. Is that correct?
I guess you could call it a juice. It's called Zobo.
Okay, so Zobo is not juice?
It's made with hibiscus.
Hibiscus, we love that.
So
A flower.
Kind of like a tea.
Okay. Is hibiscus healthy
it's
for
like
you?
An iced tea. Yeah, it's super healthy for you.
What does it do for you?
You know, it just improves your circulation. It's good for skin. It's really hydrating. Yeah, all the above.
Zobo.
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 Yeah, Zobo. And
Cheers.
Cheers. For the holidays, I also added some persimmon in there, so it is fruity.
Wow. That's so good. That is so good.
Thank you.
So how did you get good at all this juices and smoothies stuff? I went to go visit Judy and our friend Kev at their house a few months ago. And you made the most, she said avocado smoothie. And when she said avocado smoothie, I was like, that sounds disgusting, bro. And she's like, here you go. And I was like, okay. And it was green. It looked pretty. But I was like, you know those green vegetable drinks? And you know it's not going to taste good? Like, that's how I had, like, my vision before drinking it. And then I tasted it, and it was scrumdiddlyumptious.
Thank you.
Like, how did you get so good at making smoothies and juices? Like, you just dabbling?
I was just dabbling, to be honest with you. Like, I think, you know, everybody when they turn 18, or a lot of us when we turn 18, go to college, leave the house, it's the first time that, like, we're really in control of our diets and what we're eating. And so it wasn't very long before I kind of gravitated to healthier options. I think I was always interested in that.
What made you gravitate towards it or interested in it?
Honestly, it was just one article that, like, started it all. You know how on, like, our emails, like Yahoo and
Gmail.
I don't know, like, not Gmail, but like AOL, like the older ones. Yeah. When you would log on, there was like a landing page with like all the news headlines, like random articles, the weather, all that kind of stuff. So it's like that era. And I was like checking my email. I saw an article about, it was titled something about like why you can't lose your last 10 pounds.
Okay.
And
that's a very intriguing article. I would click on
exactly it. Right. I'm like,
tell me more.
Like, as like a 14, 15-year-old, I have no business losing 10 pounds anyway. But like, I clicked on it, and
I don't know about that. There's some pretty heavy 14, 15 pounders.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. But yeah, it was the first time that I had heard anything about like artificial food dyes, preservatives, like organic versus non-organic. That was like the first time that I had read about any of that stuff, like actually turning the back of the labels of
and
your
reading
food
it.
and reading it.
What's in it.
Yeah. And like researching what those ingredients actually were.
Because you don't know most of the time.
Yeah.
They're like, what are these names?
I had never like considered that in my life, like just the impact of what we're actually eating.
Yeah.
What
did you learn from that article?
I mean, I just learned about like basically those chemicals and those preservatives, the unnatural ingredients, all of those things were like damaging to our system, and that's kind of like some of the weight that a lot of us are holding on to is just like these toxic ingredients and like just taking more control over like what you're consuming and actually reading the back of the labels and certain ingredients to look out for, all that kind of stuff. So that kind of awakened it.
Did you just go down a rabbit hole?
Well, no,
after that?
Yeah.
Like a health rabbit hole? Or like a food rabbit hole?
Sort of. I mean, I feel like I'm still in the rabbit hole. But at first I was definitely shocked, and I took it a little personally, I would say. Like
how so? Like,
I was just like, I became like, it was like almost like a conspiracy to me. I was like, wow, they're like out here to get us. We need to stop eating this shit. Like it's
kind of scary a little bit though.
Yeah, I was shook.
Because like if you just look at the grocery stores and there's like, I saw like a bright blue like maple syrup, fruity pebble maple syrup for like pancakes and shit.
I've seen that before.
And I was like, no way that blue shit's meant to be in our body,
right?
And these kids just like all over their pancakes.
Yo, all the stuff that was marketed to kids like was so crazy. The stuff that they would have us eat. Yeah. Like the different candies and like everything was colored and like they would give us like regular chicken nuggets but like color them.
Why do you think that the human brain is so attracted to like colorful things, including food?
I think it just goes down to like our instincts, when you're like in the wild and you see like a colorful thing like that, automatically
grabs your attention.
Yeah. It's like, okay, that's probably fruit and it's probably ripe.
Isn't it crazy? It's so like psychological like that. You're like, oh, humans like apples on trees like makes you salivate, and then you put like, I don't know, like some red juice like on their cherry limeade. And you're like, oh yeah, that gives you the same like mental desire.
Yeah, it triggers the same part of your brain as like opening a bag of chips is the same thing as like cracking open a banana. Psychologically. Yeah. And they know that and they take advantage of that. That's why it's always so colorful. I don't really think about
that, but you could definitely go through a conspiracy about that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you could get stuck there too.
Yeah. Food is so... Yeah, it's such an interesting...
Like, if we Googled it about, like, conspiracy theories in terms of the food that is in our grocery stores, you could read that forever.
There's documentaries galore, Like, there's so many of them out there.
Yeah. Especially with the farming, the meat farming, or what's it called? Yeah.
That industry
factory
complex,
farming. Yeah.
America just knows how to kind of turn everything, just take it too far. Yeah. In terms of consuming, and so you're gonna see that everywhere.
Yeah, there was I was looking at some of your content, and you made natural cleaners. So like, why shouldn't people like use regular cleaners?
Well, because you're literally breathing that in it. You're breathing it in.
Yeah, it's just chemicals and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So how do you make a natural cleaner? Like, because I see there's this one guy uses the lemon juice a lot and vinegars and stuff. But, like, what's your way of making natural cleaners?
Well, the one that I think you're talking about is with vinegar. And so I just get, like, I usually squeeze a key lime or lemon into my water every morning. And so like after a while you begin to feel like, wow, it's kind of wasteful that you're only using like that part of the fruit, you know? So
you think about that?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a bad person that I don't think about that.
I mean, you know, we're kind of taught not to. There's a lot of things that I don't think about either. You can't really beat yourself up over that. We're all kind of willfully in the dark about one thing or another.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, so
there's
always a way to like to stretch everything that you consume and just be a little bit more sustainable. Yeah. And so turns out if you put all of your citrus rinds in a thing of vinegar, let it sit for a couple of weeks, and like put it in a spray bottle, you can clean like your surfaces and stuff like that with it. Cause
really,
yeah,
it doesn't go bad.
No, it doesn't go bad. It leaves everything fresh.
So I went over to Judy's again. Like I don't remember how long ago this was, but you know those Febreze scents. Yeah, like I use those. But Judy made like her own Febreze. Like,
did I really?
Yeah, and Kev was just spraying it all over the house.
Wait, I remember that.
And like it smelled so good. Like I couldn't even describe it. It was like the most natural scent with like natural things in it. Like I think there was like leaves in it or some shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is this person, bro?
That is so funny. I remember that actually. Yeah, he made a room spray. My friend, she came over. It was actually for my birthday. She brought like a whole like mini workshop. He made essential oils and put them in roller bottles and spray bottles. But there's always a natural way to do things, you know, that isn't going to. Yeah, because you know, one thing a lot of people don't think about, which I believe, but like our inside house can be a lot more toxic than outside because of just all of the chemicals that
we use.
Yeah, we use. So
breathing air.
Yeah, you know, so consumption is not just about what you eat. It's everything, you know. It's what you breathe, it's what you see, it's what you hear.
Yeah, and it affects you so much too in every way. Like the content you consume, like that diet too, like that could change your life just as much as the scents in your house could fuck up your body physically. And you don't think about it. People don't think about it. I definitely don't think about it.
Yeah, it's like a full-time job, you know, taking care of yourself and being aware.
It is.
Yeah, it's our real full-time job.
Yeah, we were talking earlier and we were like, I don't think we could take care of a kid right now. Like, no way.
Kudos to the people who do it, because like, you know,
because to take care of yourself well, like there's a difference. I think there's a large gap between taking care of yourself and taking care of yourself well. True. Like fully. Because like, for example, I work out most of the time, but then like I don't sleep well. I mean, I go to bed at different times, and then because of that I eat bad food. Like, is that like fully well? Like, no, that's like kind of like 1/3. You know.
Yeah, it's
to do
not
everything
easy.
well, it's really hard.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Like folding your clothes and shit, being an adult.
Right. You know,
like
checking all the boxes, you know, it's
every time I feel like I do laundry, I'm like, the next week, it's been like a week and a half, I'd be like, I felt like I just did this. Like, why did I go do this again?
It's never ending. The dishes are never ending. The laundry is never ending. Like, all the maintenance of life just is never, you know. And I wish I had the answers, you know. I wish I could be like, so here's how to get it. Here's how to do it, you know. Yeah. I'm in the same boat as everybody, but you know, I do try. I just know not to give up. Yeah. That's a non-negotiable for sure.
Do the same shit, get better at it.
Yeah, just keep going.
So what do you call it? Back to the juices. So when you were talking about, like, you read this article, you learned all about the health and like all these crazy different things. You were like, oh, let me get into healthy wellness in just like doing juices, cooking. Where did that go? Like, where was the first I guess pathway?
The first pathway. Okay, so I guess we can flash forward to when I moved to LA.
Okay. From
So I went to college in Savannah, Georgia.
Okay.
But I came from Houston. So I went from Houston to
Texas
college.
girl.
And then, yeah. Of sorts. Amongst other things. But no, I love Houston, though. Houston's amazing. And, but yeah, so I moved to LA and I went to school for film.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I moved out here, and when I was in school, I learned how to paint. So I don't know, I really took to that on my free time. I just loved, I learned how to use paint and brushes and compose and color theory and lights and shadows and, all these sorts of stuff. So that came in handy. I really love that aspect of school. The film stuff was great, but like, I feel like both of those, pieces of education were equally valuable.
In what way?
Well, in what way? I mean, they just matter equally. Mm-hmm. I got to learn the art of filmmaking and the history of filmmaking, and I got really good hands-on experience.
Yeah, and is that why you moved to LA, for those two things? For film and art?
Yeah, for film and art. But I got like my first opportunity in LA for painting. Mm-hmm. So when I moved out here, that's what I did for years before I transitioned into the food and wellness space. Yeah. So I was just, living my cute little LA life.
Mm-hmm. Cute little LA life.
LA was different in like 2016.
Yeah.
Like that era was.
How was it different?
It was because it was like pre-influencer culture. And like,
you think it was pre-influencer culture, or do you think you just didn't know as many influencers as you do now?
No, it was. I mean, influencer culture for sure existed.
Yeah,
but it's not the way.
Extent.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't the way that it is now. Yeah. So things were a lot more.
There's a lot more influencers in the wild now.
Yeah.
Just outside.
And so that just means that everything is kind of like televised, like we didn't have stories and stuff like that. So
I remember that it was Snapchat.
Yeah, right? So everybody was just a lot more present, and yeah, it was just a good time altogether. But yeah, so I was making friends, doing my thing, and I met a few friends who were in like the community space, the wellness space. One of my friends, Camille, I was showing my art at their I don't know what you call them, like events. Like there's these big things, like hundreds of people
Were
show
they
up.
Art shows?
Yeah, it was like an art show / like performance.
Was it similar to like Kev's show? Like there was a performance.
Similar, yeah, similar, art. Very similar.
Yeah.
But I think it was more like performance focused.
Okay. Versus art piece focused.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So those kinds of things, and so.
Did you start painting when you were in school, or have you always painted?
I started painting when I was in school.
Okay, so it was like not when you're super young.
No, I mean, I used to draw a little bit, like a little bit.
What did you like about painting when you started doing it?
Just the color. I'm just so into the color, like just how vivid.
Yeah. What's your process like? Like, do you design for some of your pieces? Like, obviously a lot of them look very structurally sound in terms of symmetry and everything like that. But is it just like a freehand like that, or do you plan it out, stencil it out, and then kind of put it on canvas or whatever thing you're using? Because those artists who are just like throwing shit on the the canvas, and it ends up being this crazy piece that they talk about, and you're like, I guess I can do that interpretation of what you said. And then there's the artists who, like, I don't know, like plan it out in their head, and then
I would say I plan it out in my head.
Okay.
There's a little bit of you know,
spontaneity.
Yeah, for sure.
You're like, ooh, I'm gonna try this. I didn't plan this, but I'm gonna do it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, oh, this makes sense. But for the most part, I do actually plan it in my head. And a lot of times, like, dreams and sleeping helps me. Like, if I'm blocked up or I don't know what to do next, I'll sleep on it, and I'll immediately, when I wake up, know exactly what to do.
What?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so that really helps.
I mean, there are some studies, right? If you study for like a test and instead of like cramming super, I don't think this is the right study about it. I take that back, guys. I was about to say, like, instead of like cramming at night for studying, like versus waking up next day, usually it's like more clear, you have the answers to it.
Yeah, especially when you're well rested.
It's similar, right? I think so.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, especially when you're well rested. Like, we really do underestimate a good night's rest.
Yeah, sleep's a tough one.
It really does offer a lot of clarity. So in the creative process, like, that's a huge
and you wake up and you're just like, I know the answer.
Yeah, I know what's up. Like, I know what color, I know what I need to fix. Like, everything just becomes clear. So yeah.
Do you dream every day? Or do you remember your dreams every day?
I don't remember my dreams every day. I barely remember my dreams. I know when I've dreamed, but I do not remember them.
I can't recall a dream in a very long time. Like,
yeah, I don't recall.
I sleep, and there's so many people who talk about how they wake up in the middle of the night. Like, at least friends our age, you know, like mid-20s, like early 30s, maybe late 30s. And all of them be talking about how they wake up in the middle of the night multiple times and having tough sleep. And I'm just like, I sleep through the night. I was like, I'm blessed. Like, these guys seem like they're taking all these melatonin pills and like having to smoke a ton of joints and still not falling asleep. Like, what the heck?
People are stressed out, honestly. Like, that's really all it boils down to.
Yeah. Do you think it's more stressed in a big city like LA?
I don't know. I can't really say.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a study on it or something, but I think it depends on you and how much fulfillment you're getting from your life. You know, you could be miserable in a city, you could be miserable in the country, or you could be fulfilled. You know, it just depends. Either or. I don't know what the ratio is, but everybody everywhere is going through it.
Everyone's got their own problems. I read this quote the other day that it said, if you could see other people's problems, you'll take yours right back. You know? It's like, you don't know what other people are going through.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be nice to people, guys.
Yeah, that's it.
So, back to the painting and art. What does art do for you? What does creating something out of nothing and like having these ideas in your head and making the colors on canvas or putting together? I don't even know what you would call the last piece that you did. Like, it was glossed over, and like, were there stones inside?
No, but I did.
Because it looks super textural.
Yeah, so the black paint was mixed with shungite, which is like a stone. Okay. And it's like used for protection and, you know, that kind of energy.
Okay.
So, but it was like kind of mixed in with the paint.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where the texture comes from. But
so wait, the stone does what to the energy?
It provides like protection energy.
Protection. What do you mean by that?
I mean, it's like you believe in like vibrations, right?
What is vibration? What is
we're talking through a microphone, which like processes things and through vibration, you know, and you could see that on computer.
Yeah, or like
the
water
and all that kind of stuff, you know. So like there are visual representations of those waves, of frequencies, but there are frequencies everywhere that we can't see, you know? And so there are frequencies that come off of everything, including crystals, stones, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, I I think everybody is the most familiar stone that people can think of are like diamonds. Everybody understands that like diamonds have a certain energy, they emit a certain frequency, they convey a certain message, but it's hard for them to kind of like conceptualize that when it comes to like any other stone or any other, you know, but everyone gets the diamond.
Okay, I kind of get it. But wouldn't they just want to get a diamond because of the scarcity of the diamond? Or like their perceived scarcity of the diamond? Like that's why it's so expensive. And so like, are they just not paying attention to the other rock because it's like on the ground outside?
No, I mean, but diamonds also have certain elements. Like they're really hard.
Yeah.
They can't be scratched. You know, like when you look through with their little like magnifying things, they have certain rays that, you know, color rays and, you know, all that kind of stuff, you know, and that adds up to representing certain things for us, you know. That's the reason why people, the rarity as well, you know, and that's a part of a diamond's characteristics, but we understand that diamonds have all of these characteristics. And you can apply those characteristics to represent certain things in your life. Like people put diamonds on their wedding rings to represent, you know, a faithful marriage and an unbreakable bond and all these sorts of stuff. Like diamonds represent so many things. Like that's why people covet the clarity of a diamond. What are you trying to portray with that, you know, message? Why do you covet that, you know? And so...
Is this the whole concept of like, I've never really understood when people talk about like their crystals and their certain, mostly crystals like at their house or that they bring into their spaces. Is that similar to what you just talked about with the diamond?
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just based off of their like energy and characteristics and what they do for the world.
Exactly, what they do for the world. Like there's certain...
Like, what does the crystal do for the world, though?
But because they come from the ground, you know, they come from
Earth,
and so there's certain conditions that they have to grow in, and you know, like you can't grow like a sapphire the same place you're getting sandstone from. Or, you know, and all these sorts of stuff. Like you can't get lava rock where you get in rubies. They all have different conditions and ways that they've come to be. And so that's kind of like a story. Yeah. And that energy never goes anywhere. You know, they're rocks. So we can harness that if we want to, you know, harness that energy.
That's crazy. I never really thought about that. Like, I was like, whoa, these people just like rocks and they give them energy.
I mean, there's also that too. You know, archaeologists.
It's like aesthetically pleasing. Like, in your space.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel good because it looks good, then maybe that's energy too.
Exactly. That's also the energy as well. You know, you can take it as deep or as, you know, far or as shallow as you want to. It could just be aesthetic reasons.
All these deep explanations and meanings behind these things I've never really thought about. Like, it doesn't pass by my brain. Like, do you think about them a lot? Because like the health stuff, the grocery stuff, you could you could do a research rabbit hole and be like, the world is ending. Like people are gonna die from all these poisonous chemicals in our stores. Yeah. Eventually.
Yeah. It's so easy to lose it. Or it's it's right there. You know,
and it's kind of scary because like media shows them to be normalized in like these toxic foods.
Oh yeah.
Like fast food too, processed food. Yeah. It's like how good it is. It's like tricking the brain. And the amount of people who don't know that like at least a whole foods diet is gonna change their life dramatically. You know, they're just used to, like, some people that I met out here, fast food was a big part of their life, like growing up, and so they just still eat it a lot, and like they're just unaware. It doesn't even pass by their mind. Versus like, at least us, we're relatively pretty good health conscious.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely like been in that place where I was kind of just like telling people like, oh, you need to just stop doing that.
Mm-hmm.
There's
to do
options. That? Sometimes, like if I really
like
really loved you,
yeah,
I'm like, you need to chill out, and things. Like I would go home and like throw things out of the pantry.
Yeah,
I'm like, y'all not eating this.
Yo, you went to your family's house and you throwing out their shit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You're like, this is killing you. This is killing you. This is killing you.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I still do that to this day.
What are some things that you throw out?
What do I throw out? Just like anything that's hella processed. It doesn't happen as much anymore, but like sometimes like my mom just won't read a label.
Yeah.
And so, like, for example, like, she had gotten, like, vegetable oil. It's like, you don't need to be cooking everyday foods with vegetable oil.
No.
Like, there's so many. So I
Some
gave her, like, a list.
oil.
Yeah, avocado oil. Like, I gave her a list of different oils that she can use and stuff. So I'm a lot more gentle with it now. But I just understand that everyone is at different levels in life. And, like, there's this whole system that we live in, especially when it comes to food and, just this country in general. Like, there's so much that's not within our control. So the best thing I can do is just, like, lead by example and really not, like, stress out. Because that is probably more unhealthy than the food itself.
All you can do is control you.
Right? It's the stress that it causes you. Like, I hate to hear when people come up to me and they're like, oh, I wish I could be healthy. I wish I could eat better one day. Like, I'm not even vegan, but like one day I'll be vegan. That's my goal, blah, blah, blah. And like, people really do. A lot of times people feel like they're stuck in like this unhealthy loop.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they probably are. It's hard to get out of it.
Yeah, it's hard to get out of it, but it's a lot harder when you're putting a lot of shame on your behavior and you're already like assigning this lack of health, Like,
so it's like a double whammy.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like it'd be people with 2 feet, 2 arms, standing straight up and tall, looking me in my face, telling me I'm not healthy, this and that, and I'm thinking like, I've seen people who aren't healthy, Like, I've seen sick people. Yeah. I've seen people in the hospital. Like, I know what it means to be really unhealthy. I've seen that. Like, I've been sick too, Like, you don't look unhealthy at all, but people, like, assign this status to themselves too soon because of the shame that they feel.
From society?
From just the food that they're eating. Okay. Yeah, from just the food that they're eating, or their lifestyle.
Well, everyone kind of knows what they have to do, right? They just, the problem is like getting themselves to do it. Like, everyone knows how to get a little bit healthier. Like, go walk outside.
Yeah, everybody knows how to get a little bit healthier, for sure. And like, I am a lot more privileged in the sense that I can prioritize that,
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I can go to Erewhon whenever I want to.
Come on, Erewhon. If you guys don't know what Erewhon is, it's a very good grocery store that...
Their baked goods that go off. Yeah.
Baked goods go off?
Yeah, they do.
I got an orange and a bottle of honey, and it was like $40, guys.
Yeah, they're not playing around. It's like almost like a joke.
$35 small jar of honey.
Yeah, it's almost like a joke.
It was really good honey, though.
Oh, it was?
It was fire.
Okay, cool.
And I was like, dang, like, I could have got like a $5 honey at Trader Joe's.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if it was, sometimes there's like really like random ingredients and like, yeah, it's good. It's fun to explore, but a lot of people don't have that luxury. Like, at a certain point in time, I had no idea that I was supposed to be reading the back of the labels of my food. And so I feel like the starting point, like there's some people who will eat whatever because that's what they have, you know.
Yeah.
So
it's like whatever's in their fridge.
Yeah, whatever they have access to. People live in food deserts. Like I used to live in a
food
neighborhood.
desert.
Yeah.
What's that?
There are parts of this country where the closest grocery store with fresh food is like miles and miles away.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very common thing.
It's called food desert.
Yeah, they're called food deserts.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So you would drive like miles to your grocery store? Yeah, you have to drive
to like another town.
What?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so all people have are like corner stores. And even to a corner store, they might have like week-old apple and banana and then like snacks and stuff like that. But that's all people
get.
That's all they get, you know?
Wow,
like,
that is a privilege. Marijuana's a privilege, guys.
It is.
I mean, like, every grocery store in that case is a privilege.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Humans were kind of getting soft. I mean, like, we used to, hunt and get berries from trees and shit, and now, I'm hungry. Let's go get this packaged meat and fruits and vegetables and disgusting bad things for you and just, like, enjoy life.
Yeah, I think that the level in which we can even decide whether or not we want what we want to eat and how we want to eat and what kind of lifestyle choices we want to make is like a level of life that it's a privilege at the end of the day. Like it's not accessible to everyone. Yeah. And so where my mind is at, you know, because like, you know, I live my life and I try to like share my lifestyle and like ideas and different things and stuff like that. But really, and I personally I'm not political at all, you know, like, so I'm not saying that I'm, you know, spearheading this movement or anything like that, but maybe eventually down the line, cool. But I really do think that instead of looking at what like individually we can do, like how about we start going to legislature and the people who are making the laws and the people who are, you know, like the CEOs of these companies and tell them like, hey, we don't want these ingredients in our food. Let's ban these ingredients. Let's make these ingredients illegal. Because if you fly over to Europe and you have a Nutri-Grain bar, the ingredients are completely different. A Pop-Tart in Europe is not a Pop-Tart in the US.
Like legit, do they even have Pop-Tarts?
Yeah, they do.
But they're like same company.
Same company.
Different ingredients.
They be using like real strawberries and no preservatives, no food coloring.
Dang.
Yeah.
Why they do it here? Probably because it's just cheaper, right? And it's a business.
It's a business.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that I feel like would make the most major impact in overall health, you know, like the even the fruits and vegetables that we eat, because the soil is so like depleted of nutrition, there's not even the same amount of vitamins in like an apple of today than an apple of like 40 years ago, you know? Yeah. So even if you like, it's a little bit more complicated than telling people to eat their fruits and veggies, you know?
Yeah, because some vegetables have been pretty bad for people too sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, they're getting sick from lettuce. Like I remember a point when the whole romaine scare happened. I didn't touch lettuce for a year, bruh. I was like, get that out of my taco. Like I'm eating it ground beef and hot sauce and an avocado.
Yeah, there's so many touch points, I swear. Like it's too much.
So what's your cooking process like? Like you get your ingredients from marijuana?
No, I don't. Like LA is such a big, like diverse city. Yeah. So one of my favorite things to do is
farmers market.
Farmers markets and just like exploring different neighborhoods, because every neighborhood has a different like grocery store. And
you really be exploring the neighborhoods of LA just to look at grocery stores and stuff?
It's like my favorite thing to do.
What?
Yeah.
I'm a big convenience guy. Like if the closest store to me, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, but you miss out on so many good stuff. Like that's I
know. I could tell. I go home or I went to your place and you have all these different ingredients from all over LA. And I'm just like, Yo, what?
Yeah, it's fun.
Sounds fun. So do you make your own ingredients, or do you like have any inspirations, or do you just play around in the kitchen? I tasted Judy's bok choy, and like my mom makes pretty good bok choy, and like we live in an Asian household. I have a lot of bok choy, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll try it out. Judy's like, you taste, and it was a fire. I was like, yo, what?
Why, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, my biggest inspiration was cooking healthy food that tasted as delicious as possible.
Yeah.
You know, like healthy. I believe in being healthy, but I am not the type of person who can eat anything nasty.
Yeah.
For the sake of it being healthy. Like, I have issues with like the apple cider vinegar shots. Like, I'm not about to do that.
Yeah.
No. And you know, like, it has to taste good.
Yeah.
I'll eat all the vegetables.
Why do you have issues with apple cider vinegar shots?
Because it's just too much. Like, it's too intense. Like,
oh yeah, it's definitely disgusting.
I'll do a ginger shot.
Okay.
But it's disgusting. Yeah, I can't do that. I'll do it every now and again, but that's not something I can. Yeah,
it's like you want it to be enjoyable. You don't want health to be enjoyable. I always want it
to be enjoyable. Like, this drink is pretty healthy.
Yeah.
You know.
It tastes amazing.
It tastes good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. Like, that's my biggest motivator.
Dang, that's so opposite of like what I was taught. You know, like, eat these vegetables is such a negative connotation towards it. Like, healthy is being...
at least see something on your plate.
Yeah,
like.
yeah. It's like, dang, healthy sucks. Like, I don't want to eat vegetables.
Right.
But you have some, like, nice, seasoned, cooked well bok choy, or that type of vegetable.
Yeah.
Or some, like, good watercress. Or, like, a seasoned, I don't know, like, cauliflower,
roasted veggies.
Like I just started making these sriracha maple syrup Brussels sprouts.
That sounds yum.
Woo! So good. So good. And like I've been learning the health benefits of just like natural sweeteners like honey and maple syrup, right? And I was like, yo, you put a little bit of that, a little bit of natural sweetener in there, it's not bad for you.
Yeah.
Not bad for you.
Yeah.
But if you like caramelize like a teriyaki balsamic glaze like with real sugar, like that's way worse for you.
I mean, it just depends, like, on what you were originally going to eat. Like, if you were going to order that from a restaurant, you might as well just make it at home, even if you use real sugar. Yeah. You know?
Oh, yeah. I guess that's healthier. There's levels.
There's levels to it. It just depends on how far you were going to go, you know? Yeah. Or, like, what your goal is, you know?
Well, did anyone teach you, like, how to cook? Or did you just, like, fuck around with it?
I went to Food Network University.
Yeah?
No,
Did you really?
Playing. No, I was obsessed with the Food Network.
Yeah.
Growing up, and like the Travel Channel, and just
for some reason I thought they had classes because you said that. It's like, dang, they got some classes, Food Network. Yo, I gotta take some of those.
Me and Food, we were locked in. Me and Food Network, and so I was just always inspired, and I watched everything that it had to offer, the travel stuff, like watching different cultures and what they ate. And so
Food Network was your thing.
Yeah, it was my thing. You know, Rachel Ray, like, they really be teaching you stuff. Like, they were going in. I don't watch cable anymore, so I don't know like what it's giving anymore.
So you look forward to Food Network every week at the time.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it was honestly like a daily thing. Like, I would switch from Food Network to Nickelodeon. And maybe sometimes watch E, but like I was either watching cartoons or the Food Network, you know?
Dang, that's crazy.
I absorbed a lot, you know?
Nickelodeon, Food Network, E.
Yeah, you know, something about that rotation. Sometimes MTV. TV was a different time.
Different time. People, at least my younger cousins and nieces and nephews, like, they won't ever understand that. I saw a meme of like, you won't remember like jumping over the couch, running because your siblings like, hurry! Like, I don't know. Hannah Montana's starting again, or
yeah, and like if you miss
Power
that
Rangers,
scene, you can't rewind.
You can't
nothing.
rewind nothing, and you skip a week and you forgot about the show, and so now you're a little bit too far ahead. What happened? You're just kind of making this own story in your head.
Yeah.
You know? And then now rewatching all the seasons on like streaming platforms, you're like, yo, like I know the whole story now. I was, wow, this is what happened those 2 weeks. I forgot. Forgot to tune in.
Pieces together.
I know. I think that allowed.
Maybe watching reruns.
I know. I feel like that allowed our imagination to like put together the story and pieces together, because now you're just like a zombie, and you know everything that's happening, and you get it.
And it definitely takes up a lot less space in your brain, you know, when you're not like so in tune to that storyline of things, you know. But it was cool.
Isn't it crazy that TV shows do that? It's like, you know how you'll finish a season and you're like, I want to know what's next, and you just think about it all the time.
Yeah, and they feed into it too, because now like with celebrity culture, it's so easy to like intertwine like their own personal lives with the TV show, you know. So like you get that like extended attention from people.
We were just talking about it outside, like a lot of people, I guess, being 1 degree of separation from a lot of influential people. You can't be so, like, you're just normalized. And most of the world finds it so fascinating. Not fascinating, like in awe of, like, I just want to know. Like, why do you want to know? It doesn't matter. Like, these people live thousands of miles away from you. Like, what do they do for you?
They're not paying any of your bills. Yeah.
And you're providing them with your attention. Like, your brain could go somewhere else. Like, all these girls that I'm friends with, like, talking about the Kardashians, like, next season, I'm in it. And I was like, you're giving them your attention, bro.
They're watching all the memes, all the little snippets on social media.
The memes.
And,
where do you think these people make memes? Because I'm like, these meme pages, like, I was like, you guys just sitting at home thinking about these crazy things and put it on the internet?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what they do.
Do they get money? They have to get money, right? So
I mean, maybe the smart ones.
The smart ones?
Yeah, perhaps. I've
there
never
might be some people.
into the meme industry.
There might be some people in the meme industry who are just like kids at home living with their parents.
I think
right?
It's really just kids. Like I know I have at least a couple of cousins who make random ass memes all the time, and I had a friend who like ran a meme page.
Yeah.
So it's a thing, but they were doing it for shits and giggles.
Memes are such a big part of entertainment.
Yeah, right, because it offers like real time commentary on like things that are happening currently. Like when things happen, there's immediately like a rush of memes in response to whatever the current, you know, hot topic is.
Yeah, so it's also informative in the sense like, hey, if you don't know what currently happened, this current event, you'll see all these memes, and now you know about the current event. Or the current event happens, and then there's all these memes of like different perspectives on that current event. So now it's bringing more attention and entertainment value.
Yeah. It just like
meme culture, man.
The attention snowballs. Like it's not just like one article or one headline. It's like the article, the headline, the actor, the TV show that they're in, and the memes and the pages. And you know, now it's like the podcasts and the commentary and everything kind of just like trickles and trickles and trickles. Everyone gets a little taste of that headline.
What's your favorite form of entertainment?
Maybe movies.
Movies?
Yeah. I love movies.
What's your favorite movie?
I can't think of one right now.
What do stories do for you? Or storytelling or films? Yeah,
that's the aspect of it that I
like.
Yeah, it's the storytelling for sure.
Well, you went to school for it, right?
Yeah.
Like, did you go to school for film because you just liked movies growing up?
Something like that. Like when I was in high school, I did a lot of photography. And I was just like really, really into digital art. I was making little short films, taking pictures of everything.
Digital art's a weird one because it's not really tangible.
you know, when you go into printing, it could be.
It could be.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
tangible aspects, you know, because I've shown my photography like at a gallery when I was in high school a couple of times. So, you know, there are tangible aspects of it, but I was just super into it, you know, cameras and all that kind of stuff. So, and I was already wanting to go to art school. So I was like, do I want to get a degree in photography or do I want to get a degree in film? Because I knew I wanted like a digital arts focused, you know, degree. And so I was like, let's just do film. That sounds like more bang for my buck. And so that's kind of like where my thought process was with that. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. I feel like in film, you will learn photography. You know, I feel like film is like photography advanced a little bit, but it isn't. I don't think so. They're definitely different mediums, but
for
that's
sure.
How
But I
felt.
feel like you could learn a lot of aspects of photography from film already.
Right.
Yeah.
With like lighting and composition and
It's a whole
but
science.
there's so much more to it, and I really did enjoy learning filmmaking. Yeah, it was great.
Love that. What do you call it? I wanted to talk about Cosmic Kichin. What is that? What's Cosmic Kichin?
So Cosmic Kichin is the food business that I started.
Okay. Is it different than the mushroom company?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. So what's the mushroom company called?
Oh wait, the mushroom company. You talking about the one with me and Kevy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, you know,
So it's different.
No, it's not different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, because we're like in the process of like rebranding.
Oh, okay.
And so,
I like the name.
thank you. It started off as me just kind of, you know, I was, you know, just hit after hit with the recipes and
You were other people's Food Network.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And I was sharing a lot and you know, eventually I got asked to cater a graduation ceremony.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was for this organization called Girls Make Beats.
Okay.
And it's so cute. They like, their goal is to like fill the gap in the music industry by like teaching these young girls like skills like producing and DJing and all that kind of stuff.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was really dope. And so I was really happy to, you know, do that and be there for them in that way. And so that was kind of just like the direction that it took in terms of like the work that I was getting. It was very like wellness based, you know, partnerships, and I was hosting retreats and cooking for those things and just offering really really healthy, delicious food for people, you know, community events and, you know, also just starting that conversation of what it is to eat healthy, what are these ingredients, recipes, and, you know, just connecting with people in that way. And so, yeah, I got to cook for and meet, you know, lots of people. I was able to travel, and
so it all started with that one little event for that.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then just did it spread by word of mouth, or
yeah, pretty much word of mouth.
Because you've got to cook for a lot of cool people too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Stevie Wonder is one of my clients.
Yo, so on Judy's birthday, I thought it was a meme or like a fake something. It was Stevie Wonder singing "Happy Birthday" to Judy over like the phone or voicemail. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then like, I went back on it. I was like, "Is that actually Stevie Wonder singing Happy Birthday to Judy right now?" Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was actually really cute.
Like, that's wild.
Yeah, it was, you know, it's a very special.
Like, how did you get to be able to work with him?
So my brother, he has been working with Stevie for the past few years now. And oftentimes when he's traveling, I will step up to the plate and handle things, in LA for him. So he had a couple of little like speaking engagements. He had like a podcast or something, and like a little like interview, and a photo shoot. And so we were just doing like a few things for a few days. And so we got to, kind of know each other a little bit more personally through that experience. And so it's I know it's really random.
Oh, it's dope.
But he's such a kind person, and like when you...
Isn't it crazy that you're making the food for one of the greatest musicians of all time?
Right. No, it's definitely an honor. I do not take it for granted. His music is incredible, timeless, positive, high vibrational, like just the most special music that we've been gifted on this earth.
He sings Isn't She Lovely, right?
Yeah.
I sing that song all the time.
It's just stuck in my head. His music is absolutely ageless. Like, it's
timeless,
just,
for sure.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Is that something you want to do more of, like private chefing?
If the money's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
There's this one girl who I had on the podcast. She's that's what she does like full time, and she loves it. Like, she's similar to you in the sense of she wants to cook the healthiest foods, but also make them taste better than most food.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
Like, I've done it, and I do it for all these people, like healthy pizzas, like, and everything like that. Like, it's doable. You know.
Yeah.
And she loves just like fulfilling that void in a lot of people's lives, and I was like, oh, it's basically similar to what you just said. You know, what does it do for you? What does that do for you? Like, I don't know, promoting and helping others live a more healthily fulfilled life through the things that they put in their body.
I mean, it's really hard to describe because you really don't know absolutely for sure like the impact that you're actually making, you know. So sometimes I can like take it for granted, sometimes I can just feel like I'm doing something, you know, whatever. But like, think about like the little things that you've heard that were just like snippets of somebody else's, you know, something that you've held on to, and like, because really, like, you know, a habit that you heard that you started, or an interest that you pursued because that one person gave you that spark, you know. And so,
or that one article title,
or that, exactly, you know, like
or that person, one book, or
exactly, you know. And so that I try to remember, you know, whenever, because it's not, especially cooking and the food industry, like, it's exhausting. I know those movies, and, you know, we see them. We watch the Food Network. It's a very high stakes, like, high intensity, you know, you're on your feet, long hours. Like, it's not easy at all. Like, it's very exhausting. Like, prep work. All of that there's so much that goes into it. Shopping, like, everything, you know, and then you have
prep work. If you guys ever like diced onions or tomatoes, a lot of them, or like cucumbers, and slicing them nice and perfectly every single time, like, it takes a while.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Cleaning stuff.
Yeah, it takes a long while. So, I forgot where I was going with that, to be honest with you. But yeah, it is a labor of love. So, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. It does get you know, you have to remember and remind yourself why you're doing these things. Like, oftentimes the reaction that you may get, like, you might say something to somebody, you know, like, you just don't know what people go home with, you know. So I always keep that in mind. And it's always great to, like, people, like, you know, will DM me or text me like a recipe that they've tried that I've shared, or
and they like it.
Yeah,
it's a good feeling.
Yeah,
it's a good feeling. I think I get it similarly in the sense of someone tries like a workout movement that I've been doing, like, and I've been sharing and posting about, or something that I said on the podcast, or a guest quoted it, and then they'd be like, oh dude, like, I really needed to hear that today. I was like, oh, it's a good feeling,
right?
It's like you are part of a good feeling someone had in their day. You know?
Yeah, it's very invaluable. It's a very good feeling. So
Yeah.
That's what motivates me a lot.
Yeah, I think just like giving back to others and friends and family like makes the world a better place, you know?
Definitely.
And like if it's good enough, it should be eventually will be valued enough to like where you can make a living off of it. You know? Not everyone could be, I don't know, the accountants of the world.
Yeah, that is true, but at the same time, like, we do have to be our own everything until, you know, we can delegate a little bit more.
That is true. That is true. Back to being privileged to be able to delegate that.
Exactly. Until then, you gotta learn a thing or two about accounting and stuff.
Yeah. There's so many things to learn, you know?
Yeah. And it's all connected.
Yeah, and it's back to our attention. You can't focus on everything all at once. You have to get like, I'm going to get reasonably good at accounting to be able to do my taxes, right? And then, okay, now I could focus on the kitchen a little bit. I could focus on my eating. Okay, that's decent. The accounting is good too. Let's focus on the exercise part. Okay, that's, you know, and let's focus on the sleep. Like, everything. Or my job or whatever your career path or art part.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I feel like we all naturally want balance, you know? That's like such an instinctual thing.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Like, what's balance? Like, to some people, they might love working all the time. And then they have, like, I don't know, one day off a week. And then...
Who loves that?
I like working a lot.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, that's, like, some person's happiness.
Yeah, but that's not... that's, like... a chapter, you know, like where balance in every stage of life is not the same, you know. It's not going to be the same thing, you know. You don't offer the same percentage to every aspect of your life every single day, and that's what equals balance. But I feel like we know physically, at least, when we're balanced. That's
true,
you know.
I'll agree with you there.
Yeah. And so our bodies will always tell us when we are in balance or out of balance. Yeah. And I feel like we're always seeking balance, whatever that means. Whether balance in this moment means that I need to lay on my ass and rest, or I need to get to work, or I need to...
So you don't have there's no strict definition of balance of like, this is what balance is.
No, for any of us.
My 30% goes here, my 30% goes here, my 30... No.
Yeah.
Yeah. At a certain season in your life, you could like split it out the way your body or your life at that time needs to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's go. So what's the rebranding of Cosmic Kichin?
So I think over the just journey of having that business, of having Cosmic Kichin, I'm still very passionate about food, but I feel like I've said that. I kind of like touched on it a little bit in the sense that like food to me is so much more than food
to other people.
No, I mean just like in the sense that like it's like legislature, it's political, it's economical, it's environmental, it's cultural, it's all these sorts of stuff. And so I just, just factoring all of that, like I just became more interested in feeding myself. At the end of the day, you know, like
you want to take it back for you.
Yeah. And like I still do things here and there, but it's just not like it's more out of like passion than it is like necessity, you know? And so with that, like a reframing of things, like it kind of allowed me to explore different aspects, because when I started Cosmic Kichin, I was really big on the alkaline diet with like Dr. Sebi and all that kind of stuff, and just like really dialing in on just like this one sheet of ingredients of foods that you can eat. And that worked for a while, but then I was like, I want to try this and I want to try that, and so opening up like my horizons more, I realized like I'm really into mushrooms and just like that world and the benefits that they offer, and just
all types of mushrooms.
Yeah, all types of them. Medicinal. I love eating mushrooms, you know, like all of that. And just like their
psychedelic mushrooms too, right?
Psychedelic mushrooms. Yeah. All of them. Like they just have so much.
How did you learn about all these different types of mushrooms?
How? I mean, I don't know. Like movies, books. There's documentaries, you know. There's people who
Judy, the type of person to watch a mushroom documentary.
Of course, like
I love that.
Yeah, Fantastic Fungi on Netflix is really good.
Is it? I need to watch it.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, so I'm just like a little connoisseur.
So you kind of want to switch it to like a mushroom company?
Yeah. So
why not just do a different name?
I don't know.
You just want to keep it?
What? You think should be a different name?
No. It's just like separating, like if you ever wanted to go to the concept of like cooking for like and promoting that again, you know, versus then having kind of both.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it, but
no, I'm just curious.
I think that like when it comes to cooking, I am totally fine with you know, marketing myself as a chef, you know, like I don't have to.
Okay, you don't need to have like a Cosmic Kichin brand.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Like,
I'm just like, I'm Judy. A chef. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a chef. Chef Judy in the house.
Yeah, here I am, you know, so it didn't really like, to me, it doesn't hinder that, you know, like I'm still able to be a chef without, you know, being a chef through Cosmic Kichin, you know, and I always wanted to, and that's another thing, like, I've always wanted to enter into like product development and, you know, having products on shelves in stores and, you know, being on that side of the food space as opposed to like catering and pop-ups and events. Like those are two different.
Products are hard too, because I'm dealing that with the bitters company.
Yeah, it's not a walk in the park.
Not a walk in the park.
No.
You know, it's hard to get it off the ground. And like with all the the like similar to FDA approval stuff.
Yeah.
Like and fit for purchasing, and then okay, cool, you got all the rules figured out. Now you got to figure out how to get into the stores. Okay, like you already have some similar type of product in your store, you can't have mine. Okay, then go somewhere else. Okay, cool, we got into one or two stores. Like, how do I get it online? How do we solve shipping? Like, it could just marketing goes down and there's always problems to be solved. You know, like being your own boss and in those areas, because the only way those things get better is by you doing the work, like for it. Like no one else is gonna do it.
Yeah, no one's gonna do it. It's literally just getting the work done and just like just keeping that vision, holding on to that vision, because it's not an easy road, you know. Most people don't make it, you know, but I don't know, I just again, it's just about keeping true to the vision, because I don't really see it the other side, you know, like I don't that's the goal, and that is the only, you know. Yeah,
that's what I'm seeing. It's going towards that way.
Yeah.
Why should I look back, or why should I
don't know what's going on over there, like, ow.
You don't need to, right? Like, if you experience something, it's just part of the journey to the same vision that you already had, right?
Yeah.
Just keep that one there.
Yeah, just keep going.
Front of mind. What do you call it? So, what do mushrooms do for people, or what do they do for the world? Because, like, I don't know too much about it. Like, I know about psychedelic mushrooms. I know a little bit about lion's mane, the health benefits of that. But besides that, I don't know too much about other types of mushrooms.
Well, mushrooms are different in the way that they grow, because they grow on like decomposing things, like dead trees and stuff. So the conditions in which they grow in they can grow pretty much anywhere,
Okay.
you know? And so different mushrooms offer like, it's just the possibilities are almost endless. Like I've been seeing leather made from mushrooms. I've been seeing mushrooms that eat plastic. And, you know, I've been seeing people make like furniture with mycelium, and obviously like there's the medicinal mushrooms and psychedelic mushrooms and culinary mushrooms. Like there's just so many aspects of life that mushrooms could help us in a super eco-friendly way.
Yeah.
You know?
And I've never really heard anyone talk about mushrooms like, I guess Kev described you talking about mushrooms. And I was like, there has to be a market for it, especially in the near future when like mushrooms definitely are going to be like legal in the next 10 years.
Yeah,
Have
yeah,
to be.
for sure.
Psychedelic mushrooms.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
They're already talking about it in California.
A couple other states as well.
Yeah, a couple other states as well. I think Colorado. Yeah, there's a lot of healing
powers.
Yeah, there's a lot of healing powers, and so I don't know. We'll have to see where that takes us, but you know, with the right intentions and you know, proper environment.
Yeah.
It's a good place to, you know, let some walls down and, you know, approach yourself without fear, which a lot of people.
Oh, you mean taking mushrooms?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I started doing them in Joshua Tree with Kev for his birthday every year for, this will about to be the 4th year. So I guess my first time doing them was 4 years ago. And changed my life.
Nice.
Yeah. Like for some reason, I would always, in college, like I'd have this irrational fear of dying. Like I think about it every single day, and like to unhealthy point, I'd be like, oh, like why I'm in this classroom, like I'm gonna die eventually. I might as well just do whatever I want to do, like some tried ass thought. And like it, to the extent of one day I was sitting in class at UCLA, and I just thought about dying, and I would go home. I drove home 4 hours away, and I gave my uncle a hug because I thought about him. I was like, man, I just want to come say hi. I love you, man. Like, and it really bothered me. Like I was just tripping out about it all the time. And I took mushrooms for the first time 4 years ago, and like that fear went away. And I was just like way more present, and it was like a total reset. And I was like, wow. And I remember I wasn't smoking weed at the time or doing any marijuana because I'd get super anxiety over those thoughts. And then I just don't have those thoughts really. Or I have those thoughts, and then like, oh, I acknowledge it and they just like go away. And I was like, dang, like I didn't think I was going to like them like this. Or I didn't think they were going to, I don't know if cure is the right word, but like cure those thoughts away.
Yeah.
Or make me have some epiphany in life. I mean, it's super woo-woo, super like hipster, but
that's like what they want us to think.
Yeah. Or what the perceived thought is. Yeah,
the perceived thought for sure. Because I feel like in media, I feel like people use mushrooms recreationally and to just like be a hot mess and like, I don't know, like I just took some shrooms and I'm about to do some dumb shit. You know?
Well, that's my perceived thought on marijuana, right? And then it used to be. And then I started training at this gym at Nomad, and everyone's a pothead there, but in the best way possible. Like we'll smoke before we go on a 20-mile run, you know, like we'll do it before jujitsu. We'll do it like for yoga and stretching, you know. And like when everyone talks about like people smoking weed in my high school, like it was like, oh, you're gonna do nothing with your life, you're not gonna be productive, you're not gonna work out at all, you're gonna be couch potato and eating like chips and candy all day and like not have a girlfriend. And I was like, what? That's what's gonna happen to me if I smoke weed?
Yeah.
You know. And then like clearly that's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, it could be the case for some people.
For some people,
because everything has the ability to be abused, especially weed. But like, I think that's also one of the beauties of mushrooms. It's like you have a journey, but it's not like, oh my god, I want to do that immediately again. No, you go home, you process. Like you're still processing years later. Like it's not something that you want to keep reliving over and over and over again. Like you have your
once a year type of deal. For me, at least. Maybe twice a year. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a very, like, you're
not hungry for it.
Yeah, you're not
It's not very addictive.
At all.
Yeah. It's not like I'm craving mushrooms. Like, I want some mushrooms tomorrow. Like, you have this trip and you're like, I want them again, please. Yeah. No, it's like, wow, I just had a lot of thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, let me take a couple years to digest those thoughts. Like, why did I think that? Like, am I on the right path in life and all these things?
Yeah. So I feel
what do they do for you? Like, what's your experience like on them?
It's different every time. It's really hard to describe, but it definitely feels like very healing. In the past, like, couple of years, I started incorporating breath work, and that has been like game changer.
Okay, so what is your, I guess, breath work exercises?
I usually do like a 30-minute, 20-minute session, like on an app.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a guided breathwork session. And like
5 inhales and 10 exhales out.
Holding.
Yeah, the holdings.
Like long holds. Different like rhythms and patterns and like meditation.
What have you experienced for during this like breath work?
It's honestly like so many different things. Like it feels like you are being like charged like a battery sometimes. Like you just feel like surges of energy. I feel, cause like a lot of times we're not breathing well, we're not breathing perfectly. For the most part, our heart rates are not always like elevated enough. Our diaphragms aren't open enough. We're not taking, a lot of times we can sit on the couch with our phone, and sometimes I'll tune in. I'm like, wow, I've been shallow breathing for like 2 hours, like what is that, And so when you do breath work, you are just inviting so much oxygen into your body. And so it's just really cleansing and energizing and so it just brings so much more clarity into a journey.
I haven't done any structured breath work, but like I was reading and listening to some podcasts about the benefits of nasal breathing, and I was like testing out my nose breathing, and like it was like not working. I was like and I was like, god damn, like this shit don't work. And I was like, I'm not a healthy person. But then like I listened to this podcast about how like it's pliable, like your nose is pliable, it's not that hard, like the shit, like it's not that hard, and it could be worked, like if you work on it, it could be pliable, and like I could breathe pretty well through my nose now.
Nice.
And it feels good. And I was like, whoa, you know how you said it energizes you? I was like, wow, feels like a superpower. And like a lot of people don't even pay attention to their breathing. It's like you just go about your day, you're still alive, but like if there's not if you're not choking or anything like that, you don't really think about your breathing. And so like really focusing on just like nasal breathing for me, and like deep inhales, deep exhales, like that's been my practice, and it's been game changer over the last 3 months. Super underrated. Super duper underrated. Isn't it crazy that like all these things you don't need a lot of like sources for?
It's free. Breathing is free. And it clicked for me when I thought about like air, water, food, and I guess like we can add shelter, but like the things like our main basic things, like how long can we live without shelter? Pretty long, for the most part, to survive. How long can we live without food? like, I don't know, depends on who you are, but like maybe a couple weeks without dying.
Maybe like I think the study's like 20 something days.
Yeah. How long can you go without
there's some people who do mad fasts.
Yeah, people you can go without water for like I mean, I wouldn't try, but like 5 days, something like that.
Yeah.
You can't go that long without air.
Oh yeah.
You can't, you know? And so that's like our most essential.
Did you see David Blaine's like record of holding?
No, what is it? I think he was underwater, right?
Yeah.
I think I saw it, but I don't remember like
I forgot.
I
think it was more than 10 minutes. It's crazy.
He's superhuman. Yeah, but there's some people like some communities and stuff who come from like swimmers and divers and stuff who are able to like hold their breath. But we can't live without air that long. So when it comes to like our essential nutrients and whatnot, like air is the most essential of them all.
How you breathe.
And our breath,
How you breathe is at the top of the line if you put in hierarchy of needs there. I didn't really think about it like that. Dang. Focus on your breathing, guys. It's really important.
Yeah, it's really important. It's more important than food and water.
Yeah. Have you ever done any big fasts?
I have. I did like a 40-day fast once.
Like no food for 40 days?
No, it wasn't food. It was like raw.
Raw?
Yeah, raw vegan.
Okay.
Is that fast?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well then,
like no eating at all.
No eating at all, like a juice cleanse?
No, like no juice, like water.
Water. Okay, so like the longest water fast that I've done is maybe like 48 hours.
Okay, I did 48.
Yeah. But I don't know. I haven't really gone into like the water fasting world of things. I don't know. I'm not into extreme like that.
It feels like a reset to me too.
Yeah.
Like similarly to the mushroom every year thing. Like in terms of my reset of my gut, like the stuff that comes out of your body when you do just a water fast, I'm like, yo, what the fuck was in my stomach, bro?
Yeah, I totally get that. And I think that like personally, I prefer to incorporate detox habits into like my everyday life.
Yeah. Versus just fasting.
Yeah.
You're like back to the healthy food. Like I'd rather eat healthy but make it taste good.
Yeah, it's gotta taste good. I feel good.
I'm gonna detox and not starve myself.
Yeah. Cause I had someone put it this way and it made sense. Like, okay. So one thing that I like to do, which I need to really get better at, it's gonna be the new year. So we're really gonna be on it. We're gonna try. But like, I like to fast like. I don't know the hours, but like just cutting off food at a certain time of the day. So around like 7 or 8. And so like if let's say like I cut off eating, and that means that I'm fasting for like 16 hours of the day. I'm not about to do the math right now, but I think I might have to.
8 hours. You have an 8-hour window to eat.
No, I have an 8-hour window to eat, yes. But, like, okay, if I fasted for 16 hours a day, every day, that's 112 hours of fasting.
A week.
That's times 7. Oh, yeah, that's 4.6 days. Out of the week that I fasted. So instead of doing it consecutively, like let's say having a 5-day water fast, I can just fast every day of the week.
It's slightly different. I think the longer fasts have a different effect than multiple consecutive days.
For sure, like ketosis and all them things.
Yeah.
I've never been extreme like that. I'm sure it's great.
That's so funny because like you say you say it as extreme, but I guess the circle that I'm in, it's normalized. Just like he'll come, like I'll go to the gym and be like, hey dude, you want to do a 48-hour fast starting tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, I'm down. And we'll just continue our day. Like,
yeah, for sure. Like, I grew up in a religious household.
Okay.
My mom used to like wake us up in the morning and be like, oh, by the way, we're fasting today. until 6 p.m. So I'm not...
What type of religion?
Catholic.
Catholic?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Same.
I'm very familiar with that, like being like a community type of vibe, you know, getting in on it. But I don't know. I just...
I'm not fasting, Nate.
We can do
I got my hibiscus juice, baby.
I'm willing to fast like as a daily thing, but not as like, I don't know. I've done a 3-day. Did I say 3-day?
You said 2-day, 48,
48
hour.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe it was 48 hours, or maybe like a little bit
3
more.
days.
It was between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I don't think I completed the 3rd day. I think like I went until like the morning or something of the 3rd day, but that was enough. I'd do that again.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not opposed to that, but the long term stuff, like I don't think.
You're like, nah, Nate. Yo, what's your definition of wellness?
I don't know.
I guess self-love, because everything that you seem to be doing is a form of self-love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or at least you describe it as that too.
Yeah, I would describe it as that. I mean, I think that so we're gonna be here for a minute, right?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so I had been thinking, you know, just conceptualizing for a minute, because, you know, I've been in the wellness space and just like how I want to represent myself, what niche I want to take up, like what my approach is and all these sorts of stuff, you know, like I've always kind of been like thinking about that, especially like, you know, in your early 20s is what you're supposed to be doing, like figuring out what your method is.
Yeah. And
I went to, like, I did like a cute little, like, I had made some juices for a friend's pop-up. This was during the pandemic when people were like in the streets protesting BLM, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so there was like one of my
crazy
friends.
times.
Yeah, right?
Isn't it crazy? Like, we're 3 years out now. About to be 4. Like, and that shit was like a movie, dude.
It was like a movie. It was a completely different life.
It's like,
I'm barely the same person. Like, yeah, it was
so much has happened since then.
Yeah, so much has happened. Different times. But yeah, so we had like little yoga, you know, it's just like a cute little like park gathering, like sound bowls, meditation, yoga, and after all that, there was like colors and crayons, and we were making like these signs, like protest signs, to put on, like to tag on like on a gate of the park, so when people were passing by, like they can see it. It was like a little like cute little thing like that. And I was like thinking about what I wanted to what I wanted to protest, you know, like I'm very selective personally about like causes that I publicly support. You know, I believe in just like supporting individuals and, you know, doing what you can with your own like personal life, you know, because you just can't trust
it's kind of easier to do that too, because like, for example, if you just look at politics, right, and you just look at right and left, there's such a huge spectrum of left people and there's a huge spectrum of right people. You can't just be like, they're different people. Yeah. Like, you're going to say this person is in the same category as this person? Yeah. I was like, yo, no way. Right?
Yeah, it gets a little complicated. So I just try to, like, tread lightly. Like, especially because it's, like, my life. And, you know, I have a different... It just doesn't align for me to put my life on the line personally. You know? For most causes out there.
For what?
For what?
No, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to put my name on the line.
We're not doing it. Yeah. There's got to be another way.
Just because you believe a certain way?
Yeah.
Or just because, like, you lean more this way?
Yeah.
And then the whole... Yeah.
And I understand that everybody has a fight, you know? So if this is your fight, by all means, like, fight for us. I'm very proud of you, but there's certain things. So that's kind of, like, where my head was at when I was making the poster, and I created... my poster said self-care warfare. Because, like, you know, there's, like, different types of types of war. You know, you have like guerrilla warfare. You have
good names.
You have
very good at naming things.
I try. You know, there's so many things. Chemical warfare. There's so many ways in which that you can like attack.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought to myself, like, what actually is the best way to like defend yourself against everything that's going on in the world, you know, whether it's like as serious as like, you know, you're actually in the middle of a war, or like we're in the middle of a pandemic, or, you know, all these sorts of systems that come into play that, you know, take us out of balance, you know. And so self-care, like, I really do feel like in my heart and soul is the answer to like world peace. Because you know, we've heard of self-love, and people, it's very easy to do that.
Yeah, it's different. Like self-care is like, it's work.
Yeah.
Like me and my buddy were talking about this the other day, and he was like, he just started getting back into the gym and putting on some weight, and like I would say he was a little bit too I guess light in terms of healthiness. Like he needed to put more weight on his body, and it's just by eating more, which if you don't have an appetite, like eating's hard. Like if you don't have an appetite, and like working out, and which is hard too, like going to the gym and lifting some heavy weight. But like he was like, we were talking about how discipline is the biggest form of self-love.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're gonna brush your teeth every morning so you don't get cavities. Okay, cool. You're gonna eat this way so you could be healthy. Okay, cool. Like, you're gonna keep your place clean, like, just so you could function better, because like a organized space is an organized mind, which will allow you to achieve X, Y, and Z. Like,
it's also a form of gratitude, you know, because like, you know, we have lungs that work, we have brains that work, we have legs that work, we have a roof over our heads. Like, how do we show appreciation for these things? It's by taking care of it. It's by respecting it. It's by having discipline, you know? So
I didn't think about the gratitude part. That is a form of gratitude.
It is a form of gratitude. Yeah.
It's like you show gratitude by like, oh, like, thank you. Like, thank you for taking me from A to B car. Like, I'm going to keep you clean.
Yeah.
I'm going to change your oil.
Yeah.
Like, so you can continue taking care of me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that's kind of been like the center of like how I approach things now, and like how I speak on things is like self-care first, you know, take care of yourself.
Self-care warfare.
Yeah, self-care warfare. You know, that's how we fight. We're like, we're warriors out here.
Yeah.
That's how I feel sometimes. Like, I know we're not like an active war or anything like that, but sometimes it does.
It's a good representation for sure.
Yeah, it does feel like we are, you know, we do have something to defend.
Like, clearly it's not like a life or death situation, obviously.
Yeah.
But like you fighting every day to become like the best version of yourself.
Exactly.
Like, that shit's hard.
Yeah.
Like, and if you fail a lot of days in a row, like, your life is gonna get worse.
Yeah. And you as a human being has value, you know, and so that's a way of...
You have value because you bring things to people, right? Like, you provide some value in some person's life, therefore it's like valuable to the world. It's like the whole ripple effect part, you know? Each person affects everybody.
Each person affects everybody. Even how you affect yourself is like, it's like the first ripple. It's like the drop.
Yeah.
You know, and so
it's like that impact that you make on that first drop.
Yeah, ripples. You know, and so it's like, I don't even want you to try to impact me at all until you have figured your shit out.
Yeah.
Until you have, you know, gotten yourself together, raise your vibration, you know, take care of yourself. And it's like it's a holistic thing. Like, it's like, obviously help is great, you know, community is great and all that kind of stuff, but like, I feel much more comfortable accepting help from somebody. Like, if I knew that my friend was struggling to pay their rent, like, I'm not about to ask you to help me move. I'm not about to ask you to be there for me because you already have like all these things going on, you know? So like you really do have to take care of yourself before you can even really make that impact that you want.
Like the best version of yourself is the best version to help other people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like take care of yourself.
Do that.
Yeah. Again, it's hard. So many people are just learning. And we were talking about, me and Judy, before we started the podcast, I was like, she was talking about how a very significant birthday is coming up.
Really? What birthday?
Your 30th birthday.
Oh, yeah. Okay, it's not coming up. It's in 8 months.
Okay, that's what I meant. Like, she's like, it's going to be big. Like, I've just been thinking about it. That's why I thought you said it's coming up. But, like, we still feel like kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's like we're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure it out.
And the biggest thing I think about learning about growing up is that your parents and grandparents are still trying to figure it out too.
Yeah.
And your friends, all these people that you looked up to. Like, I remember this one guy. He was on the podcast a while back. His name's Nolan, and we went to college together. And he was like a Marine, and I respected his discipline in terms of like working out. He was the only person I knew about like investing at the time. So I was like learning. I was like, how do you invest so you'd save for retirement? And this was in college, right? So I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm looking up to this guy. And then we had lunch like a couple years back, like after college, and he was just talking about all these things that I thought he like had figured out. And I was like, wow, like you're human. Like I looked up to him as this like superhero, you know, and I was like, wow, like I want to be like him when I grow up, you know. And you just realize the more you grow up that no one's really a superhero.
No, we're just doing our best.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just doing our best. Some people do, you know, have it figured out more than others, which is great.
But like one thing that I learned about having some pretty well-off like personal training clients is like they have problems too. Yeah. And they're like just as severe or more severe. Especially with health too. I realize like it's a lot. You can't buy it. Like you could buy like this medicine that you buy or these like weight loss pills that you buy. Like it doesn't fix you.
No.
You know, and like
it causes more damage.
Yeah, and you got one meat sack, guys. You got one human body. You know, throughout this whole lifetime.
Yeah,
you know?
People are playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, where's the true value at? Like, so many people will spend years and years and years studying in their dorms to become X, Y, and Z to make this amount of money, right? And then their body's shit.
Yeah.
And then you're like, whoa, like what's more valuable? Is that income every single year more valuable than a healthy working body? Like, is that what I mean, to some people clearly it is because that's the decisions that they made.
Clearly, because a lot of people who are making those huge sacrifices have a lot to lose and have a lot to. Like, I know that a lot of people who, you know, make those big sacrifices, a lot of times they got big-ass families.
Yeah.
They got kids. They got parents. They got sick relatives. Like, nobody, I just don't feel like anybody's really breaking their back by choice like that. Yeah. You know, like.
Facts. That's the biggest thing that everyone has to face. Like, someone close to you is going to die eventually.
Yeah.
You know, and then that causes a whole like ripple effect in not necessarily a negative way, but just in life way. Like it's just gonna happen to everybody.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna happen to everybody, but we just you don't want it to be super fucking dramatic. Yeah. Like everybody would hate for their best friend to like get like terminal cancer and die a slow, painful death that they have to witness. Like everybody wants their parents to go peacefully. Like nobody wants, you know, to go out like that. Yeah. And nobody wants the people that they love to go out for that. It's so stressful. It's so taxing. It's so all consuming, you know? And so that, again, goes back to the self-care, you know? Like, the best way for you to love me as a friend is to make sure that I never have to fucking pull the plug on you, you know? And all these sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
That's probably the best thing you could do. as a friend, as a parent, as a sibling, you know, like, do the best that you can do to make sure
that I don't got to deal with your bullshit.
Yeah, that I'm not spending like my 40s, my 50s, my retirement ages, like trying to have you like remember everything, like wiping ass. Like, I don't, you know, we don't have to do that. Obviously, you know, life happens, but a lot of these things are preventable. Like, stop smoking so much, stop drinking so much, like, take care of yourself, like, save, you know, get that therapy, you know, do the things that you need to do in order to be.
And again, most of the time we know what we need to do.
We know.
Yeah.
You know, it's easier said than done for sure. But the once you have that, like, once your mind starts going in that direction, there's gonna be some momentum. Even if it doesn't take you that far, like, you're going in the right direction by at least thinking about it.
No, that's true. At least back to your point of, if you just look about your vision for your life, like, and I don't look at anything else, like, why would I look at anything else? That's what I want, right?
Absolutely.
Just keep looking at it. Just keep having that top of mind, and like, you'll definitely take action one day. You know? At least hopefully. If it's in front of your mind, you have to. Like, it's just gonna annoy you. Like, oh, I didn't do that again. Oh, I didn't do that again.
Like, and once you do that, like, you know how you were saying opportunities sort of just unfold. Like, that's what happens in so many aspects of life. Like, once you make up your mind and you take those 1 to 5 steps, like, those opportunities are going to start coming in and making it easier for you to continue in that direction.
I'm definitely experiencing that right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I decided I wanted to be basically full-time personal training. I just decided to. Like, in my head, I was like, oh, I think I want to. I think I can. And I went from having just probably within the last 6 to 8 months, I went from having 6 personal training clients to around 15 to 18.
Nice.
And my skill set hasn't changed that much. It's just like the belief and vision of like where I thought it was. And I was like, whoa. And then like last night I was just bartending, right? And there was this guest at my bar, and I was talking to a friend about personal training, and he was like, can you try my kids?
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, we can talk about it. Like, and I was like, this opportunities never presented themselves before. It wasn't until I had that vision in my head, that true belief too, that they appeared. And it makes me question just like life in general, because like you hear that, it sounds crazy, but it's true.
Yeah, it is true. But you know, the thing about that being true is that some people have, and the reason why they find it to be so unfathomable, and some everybody has their own like degree of like belief in that idea, you know, but like
some would have no belief though, which is their belief.
Yeah, and the people who do, oftentimes you'll find that there are roadblocks in the way of them seeing that, you know? So like people put things in their way, whether it's like a toxic relationship, unhealthy habits, stagnancy, a bad job, you know, an experience that they refuse to like heal from. They start putting all of these things in their way, and all of a sudden you can't really see that far ahead of you anymore. You can't see the light of the light at the end of the tunnel anymore, because you've put so many things in your way. So even before we get to the point where we're like open to opportunities, and you know, our mind is able to fathom this belief, like we do have to get stuff out of our way, you know, first.
All comes back to self-love.
Yeah, you know, and it's a real journey.
That is true though. Like your mind could get clouded by all the things that you need to do to stay afloat, right? Like if that is anything, rent, relationship, you name it. It
could get in the way if you let it, you know. And so I feel like that, unfortunately, is like
those things that live rent free in your brain.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn, man, get out of there.
And then for a lot of people, it becomes your whole entire personality.
How so?
Because now you're bringing up every single chance you get. Oh, you should do that. Oh, I can't because this and that. You know, I got that. You know, this happened to me. You know, blah, blah, blah. Like, now it's your personality.
Yeah. No one wants to be around those type of people.
Yeah.
It gets annoying after like the second time.
It gets so fucking annoying. Yeah, but those are the people who, for whatever reason, sometimes it's their fault and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
But like, you know, if you want to see life differently, there are certain things that you do have to get out of the way before, you know, things can start. You can start attracting things more efficiently.
I love that.
Yeah.
What do you love about art and creating things? Because like the things that at least I perceived business as art lately, because you're making this
for sure,
making this thing out of nothing.
Yeah.
And it does take logistics and certain skills, but at the end of the day, you are creating this company. You are creating each aspect of the business to like run well, and it's just a whole machine. It's a car, right? Like, and you have to get the wheels, you have to get the engine, and once you put it together, it's like a well-running business. But like, there's so many bits and pieces of it, you know.
So what's the question?
What does like creativity do for you? Like making something out of nothing in the art of it.
Okay.
You know.
I mean, that's like the meaning of life, you know. It feels like living.
Yeah.
You know, it's very natural for me, and I've luckily been able to.
It's like the tech side of making babies.
Yeah.
It's like literally turning this company into a living business.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. And so art to me is, like you said, like business is an art.
Yeah.
Art to me is like a way of life. There's so many. It's how you live your life. It really is. And I don't know. I'm into so many different mediums. Painting is amazing because it's just like fully expressive, you know, and abstract. It's a completely different experience. It's like, you know, I really put a lot of energy into it, but like in my brain, in my mind, in my body, in my soul, like all of it is the same, whether I'm cooking, whether I'm painting, whether I am making a movie or taking photos or sitting here having a conversation or you know, doing a pop-up or my makeup or
cooking for people.
Yeah, all of that. Like I believe that every single thing that I do is approached the same way, and it just looks differently and it shows up differently, but it's all coming from like one central place.
That takes the pressure off, like focusing on only one thing, because it's all coming from the same source. Because like for at least for me, like a long time, I'd be like negatively talking to myself of like, oh, I guess for your examples, like I should be working on the mushrooms now company and like not doing as much filming, you know, like, and I'd like negative talk myself like in that way versus like, oh, all of this is coming from the same spot and it needs to get out into the world and just like be fully yourself in all aspects of it and don't have any negativity towards any one part.
For sure. Yeah. It's the same message. It's just different mediums.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that art school taught me.
Different mediums.
Is like.
I love that.
Yeah. It's just different mediums, different ways of like getting it out, different channels, avenues, you know?
Yeah. But I feel like everyone's artistic in some way in that aspect.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
There's talent.
Yeah.
And there's gifts, you know?
Sure.
But yeah, I do feel like everybody's artistic.
In terms of like just living, you said art is life. Like it's the way you live.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess if you define it from a more like traditional art perspective.
Yeah.
It's like you need the skill to be able to like paint and use the tools and like whatever way you're doing.
There's a difference between being an artist and being able to like make art, I feel, you know?
What's the difference?
Because an artist is almost like it's like a public figure almost, you know? An artist has responsibility for like culture and society and like it's their whole life, you know? They eat, breathe, sleep, drink art, and then it's also like their business.
That's funny that you said it's a responsibility.
Yeah,
it is a responsibility. Like, I didn't really think about it like that, because like when I think about artists, I just think about people who want to create things, and if that's a painting or whatever. But also, I don't know, there's a story behind it, and that story usually comes with a culture connected to it. And so like being able to describe and like portray that culture in a way that is digestible to their consumers is a responsibility.
And that impact that it makes, and yeah, it's definitely a different existence being an artist, and then just like, you know, making art. I think everybody should make art. Everybody should.
What has it taught you?
What, being an artist?
No, like making things. Making art. Making art.
I don't know. I mean, it teaches you so many things, because once you have an idea, it's oftentimes something you've never done before. You know, so you're learning along the way. Yeah, but I think being able to like start and finish something, execute something, make something beautiful.
The start and finish part's like a big thing.
Yeah, it's such a confidence booster.
Such a confidence booster. Like, even I used to get mad at myself because I dabble with guitar. And you'll like learn a song, right? And if I just learn like the first verse and then nothing else, it's like, damn, bro, you're a loser. You can learn a whole song. And then like
a verse is great.
And then like one day I'd like get the whole song down, and I'd feel so accomplished. I was like, yo, you're the fucking man. Yeah. Which rarely happens, but that one time I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. It gives you a sense of pride, a sense of confidence, a sense of like, strength. And so I just feel like the more you make, the better of a person you are for yourself, and like the better you show up. So like, you know, people who like, you made this, right? Exactly. Yeah. Like, you look at that every day.
Yeah. So it's part of my daily living.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, you're just like infusing your space with self-confidence and self-worth.
Yo, this is such a crazy perspective, because like I don't think about that, like I just do, right? But then that is true. That is the exact feelings that I do feel. And I've been treating like my calendar like that, in the sense of like, you plan something, you told yourself you're gonna do X, Y, and Z today, and if you only do X, you feel like shit. Yeah. Like, did you say you were gonna juice your juice today? Did you say you were gonna go for a walk and go work out? Oh, you only got your juice in today? Didn't you say you were gonna do the other things? That makes you less confident.
And this also goes back to why people have trouble sleeping. It's like, you can't sleep because you're still ruminating on all the shit you never got done.
That's why I sleep well. That's it. I got all that shit crossed off.
Yeah, you'll sleep like a baby if you cross everything off every night. Like.
Everything off. I also love crossing stuff off. Do you love crossing stuff off?
Yeah, I'm really getting into it. Like,
I love it.
I have my calendar app. I have downloaded a task, it's like a to-do thing or whatever. I swipe when I'm done. Like, it shows me reminders.
It's so satisfying.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's nice. I would have forgot to do this podcast if I didn't have my calendar.
Right.
No, like, dead ass.
I put it on my calendar too.
Yeah. No, like,
and it gave me a reminder. Like, yeah. It's great.
I don't know what I do tomorrow. Like, every day I don't know.
You know, because I just started incorporating my calendar more, and on the days where I have nothing on my calendar, I don't do shit. I'm like, dang, okay, we need to start filling our free days with stuff to do, or else nothing gets done. I'm like, I
haven't had a free day on my calendar probably in the last 3 years.
But that's because you use it. I'm just now trying to like fill it in. You know,
it's kind of satisfying. You know, like Tetris.
Yeah.
So like I was like, oh, I got a 6-hour gap. Can I get a hike in with some friends or some food? Like, like in my free day, it would be like shit like that though. Yeah. You know, it's like food, run, hike with friends. Like, oh, we're gonna go see a movie tonight. Like, it's a full day of like.
But you're doing stuff.
Yeah, I am doing stuff. Yeah, but it's like also like that's the entertainment part too. Like, you get something out of it. You know. And it is fulfilling that way.
Yeah.
Do you know who Jesse Itzler is?
No.
So he's like an ultra marathoner and a big business guy. But he started making these calendars that are 365-day-a-year calendars. They're like fucking huge.
Nice.
Right? So, and he's basically saying like each quarter or like whatever part you want to categorize your life, like to do some cool shit. Like it's called your life resume. Like at that, when you die, don't you want to like, oh yeah, I did these cool things. Like, so if you break it down, like once a month you do something cool with your friends here, you go to, I don't know, like a national park or the beach, or you sign up for like, I don't know, a Spartan race together, or you take a ceramics class. Like your life resume gets pretty dope.
It does.
You know, and then you get to talk about all these cool things.
Yeah.
You know, to your future kids or grandkids or cousins or whatever, or friends, you know, like that's what I feel about traveling. You know, when you go to, like I just got back from Japan and Europe. Like I went out of the country for the first few times the last few years, couple years, and like now I have that experience right on my life resume, and now you could talk about all these people.
Yeah,
and they think you're more interesting.
Yeah, it's called being cultured.
Is that what it's called, Judy?
No, but it makes such a huge difference in just like the quality of your life.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and I'm definitely getting into just like being more visual.
Yeah, Judy out here rocking the kimono, bruh.
You know, green's my favorite color.
Yeah. Why?
Oh, I don't know. It's just everywhere.
Everywhere's green.
It like represents life to me. Just like being alive and healthy.
Yeah. I don't know. Green to me, like I just associate it with like Christmas so much. Like right now there's red behind you. So like I'm just screaming.
Okay. I can see that.
Christmas.
Yeah. And this necklace too. Like,
yeah. Favorite colors. Like I don't know why we're attracted to wearing certain things, right? Like for me, I had slightly colorblind. I have like a red-green deficiency.
Oh, for real? What does this look like to you?
Like it could pass as a brown to me in my head.
Oh, wow.
So like dark greens like will look like browns, and like dark yellows will start to look like green, like bright yellow, and like so like, you know, the colorblind test, have you taken them?
I've never.
So basically there's like this circle with like a ton of dots in it, right? And it will show.
Oh, I know that test. Yeah.
So it'll show like a B or a 6 or a 3, and if you could see it, like you're good, you got regular. But I think 3 out of the 10 I couldn't see anything inside, and so like, and that indicated like red-green deficiency for colorblindness. And so,
do you wear special glasses?
No, I don't. I think I'm good. Like I think most colors I could see fine, but the problem with it is like when I was in high school, I just mismatched every single day. Like I was wearing whack ass shit. like
That's so funny.
Like purple with a green or something, right? And so like nowadays, most of the time I just like wear black, and so the colors, like, keeping it simple, man. But like, I don't know why the people are like, what is fashion, right? Like sometimes it doesn't make sense. Like to me, I'm like, why would someone wear that? Or like, why would those colors go together? But everyone just agrees that they go together.
Yeah, I think it honestly just all goes back down to the vibrations and the frequency of things, you know?
I don't know what you mean by that.
I mean, I'm not like a scientist, so I'm not going to explain things like a scientist, but like, you remember learning about solids, liquids, and gases, right?
Yeah.
And like their composition with like molecules, like, and like the separation, like the less tightly packed molecules, the more solid it is, or whatever.
Yes.
So like,
you're doing pretty good as a scientist, Judy.
I'm trying. I'm on the magic school bus right now. So like a solid is like, it really isn't as solid as you think it is. Everything is like a wavelength, basically, that kind of comes together and forms different shapes based on density of things.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by vibrations. So all of the wavelengths that put me together as a person oftentimes when it comes to style and color and all that kind of stuff, there's something in the fabric, in the wavelength of this fabric and how it's been composed that resonates with a wavelength that's within me. There's something in the wavelength of the color and the fabric of black that resonates with you. And so that's kind of what makes up everybody's individual personal style, because there are different textures and colors and patterns and fabrics and things that resonate differently because of the individual people that we all are, you know? And so I guess
is that why like some people were like, oh, that clothing is so Judy, or that clothing's for sure like Kev.
It's your vibe.
Yeah,
it's your literal vibration that people are able to sense.
That's crazy. I never really thought about that. I thought just people just like what they like and they put it on.
It's as simple as that, you know? Yeah, it's as simple as that. It doesn't have to be complicated. Like a lot of times when you ask somebody, oh, why are you wearing this? I just felt like it.
I felt like it. And that's a good answer. Yeah. Like, why is this a weird question? Because you could always ask it. Like, why are you doing this? Because of this. Why are you doing that? Because of this. Why are you doing, you know, like, why? You could just keep asking.
You could just keep asking.
Yes, why?
Kids love that.
And yes, kids love that. But the answer of like, because I wanted to is good enough. Because I felt like it. It's good enough. Because it could stop there. Period. You know?
It's a full sentence.
And it's a good enough reason.
Yeah.
You know, why are you wearing that? Because I felt like it.
Yeah.
Period.
And then, you know, like fashion, like everything else, can be political, can be, you know, can have all types of different connotations. Like there are certain ways that you want to represent yourself, you know, like based off of what you want to achieve out of this life or how you want to be perceived and received and all that kind of stuff. So many things come into play. I don't think like...
Yeah, your outfit can do that.
Yeah.
What you wear can do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So... Yes, there's some people who are able to like cross those who are able to exit that matrix of like, oh, it doesn't matter what I wear. Yeah. You know, but a lot of us are still in that, you know, thought process and way of life, you know. So
what's his name? He wrote the book with the circle on it. Rick Rubin. You know, Rick Rubin?
Is he a musician?
He was the producer. Yeah. Yeah. So like this dude is like has a bald spot right here. And just got like this long white beard. And he doesn't wear shoes ever. Like he doesn't own a pair of shoes.
Nice.
And he's like I think worth like $600 million or something like that. And he just like wears he has his shirt most of the time, and then just wears like a white shirt. He looks like a homeless guy. Yeah. But he's like one of the greatest producers of all time.
Yeah, and shows up like that everywhere. Yeah.
And like people are weirded out because he doesn't wear shoes and he's going into like these fancy like rap studios and shit.
Yeah, that's a little. My feet are too sensitive to just be barefoot like that. But
we've been doing some barefoot runs.
Nice.
Yeah, in the mountains.
Nice. Yeah, okay, in the mountains is cool, but now you're in public spaces. Like, I don't know about all that.
Yeah. I wore these, the sandals that I run in the mountains in the airport one time, and then I went in the bathroom. I was like, yeah, this doesn't feel the greatest. Yeah. I was like, I kind of want to wear shoes right now.
There's a time and place, but definitely not like, outside. I'd rather be barefoot outside than like in a building or like in city proper, you know. It's a little different.
Yeah, downtown's scary.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be barefoot, you know. But yeah, you know, some people are able to just like not subscribe and still be successful, still get everything that they want out of life and all that kind of stuff. But that's not the case for a lot of us.
Yeah. Also, it's like a form of self-expression too, right?
For sure. Yeah. It is self-expression. Yeah. For sure.
Like you could dress a certain way to make you feel good.
Yeah, I feel like that's where it should start. Yeah. For sure. Because the more you feel good, the more confident you are, the more attractive you are to the things that are meant for you, you know? So ultimately, like, as long as you feel good and you're aligned, like, shouldn't matter what you have on. But we there's just so much that goes into that.
Also, there's like, buying things are fun and having things aren't as fun. Like you always get that initial like happiness a little bit, like this little joy when you get something that's cool to wear, and then it's just yours. And then it's just you just have, oh, that's sick, yeah, I have it, it's a shirt. But when you got it, you're like, oh, this shirt's so sick, you know. And then eventually that same shirt gets donated and you're like, huh.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like clothes are just not the way that they used to be. Like I grew up, I'm Nigerian, so I grew up like if we wanted to wear like if we wanted to have something to wear for like a family gathering or an event or something like that, like we literally had to go to the tailor, get our measurements taken, go pick out our fabric.
Yo, Nigerian traditional clothing wear is tight. It's sick. It's
yeah,
pretty.
they're really going in. Like it's getting better and better every so often. I'm very impressed. But like, so clothes were not something that you can just like
get.
Yeah. And that's not how it used to be. It's very recent, like fast fashion and all these kinds of stuff. Like, you know, people used to get their clothes custom made, custom tailored, and they were built to last, and like they were stitched and made in a way where you can like take it in a few inches or let it out a few inches, like whether it was pants or dresses, and just
I
like
remember that.
The construction of things and stuff. So like clothes aren't really meant to just be like, you know what, I'm over this, like let me go donate this and get something else. Like, and you know, there are brands and, you know, places that you can go, like thrifting and vintage, and you know, people who are conscious of that, like the cycle of clothing and the life cycle of clothing. But yeah, I'm very like people say this all the time. They don't say it all the time, but I've had people like point out like, oh yeah, you wear the same shit all the time. Yeah, because my shit is cool, and it's like I wear nice clothes. Like I've had this going on for so long. Like, you know,
it's
so
dope as shit.
You know, and if there's a rip, I'm about to go to the tailor to get it fixed. Yeah, it's not like that for every single piece of my clothing, but I do like to consciously have pieces in my closet that I'm going to wear forever. It's a part of my style. You know, when I purchased it, I knew that I was going to have it for a long time.
Just be super intentional with it.
Yeah. There definitely needs to be a lot more of that, because the whole like quick, you know, let me pick up a trend, and then when it dies down, I can go pick up another trend and donate these things. Like that's not sustainable.
Yeah, I guess mine was different. Like my mom was very into discounts, you know, and like getting things for cheap. Yeah. And so she was like the queen of like Ross and Marshalls, and
I've been there.
Yeah, and so like I'd come home with like 10 shirts at $6, right? And so that's $60 for 10 shirts. Yeah. And like those won't last, right? Yeah. Versus getting one $60 shirt. Yeah. And you're like, whoa, this shit's nice. Yeah. And then you have it for your entire life, right? And that's what I've like had to switch in my head. Like all the stuff that I have is like, or at least 90% of it's like super quality, and I spent like a decent amount of money on it. But like the amount of stuff I still wear from just my couple years after high school, I still use. You know, like I haven't grown that much.
Yeah, it's definitely a balance. We definitely do entirely too much when it comes to.
Well, fast fashion's like like going back to documentaries and stuff. Like I've seen clips of just like brand new like clothes with tags on it, like in the trash and stuff. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, and these landfills and
the
stuff.
Landfills, the factories with the conditions, like it's just not cute. Yeah. And like the fabrics, the synthetic fibers, like we're just doing entirely too much. Yeah.
Everyone needs to be a Nigerian and get their clothes tailored.
You know,
also Nigerians run LA, bro. Like every Nigerian that I've ever met in LA is dope as fuck.
What can I say?
And they be doing things like everyone. I was like, you guys be cool working on your projects.
Nigerians are very ambitious people.
Yeah.
Very ambitious. Don't take it for granted, but it's definitely like embedded
in the culture.
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from?
I think it's just a built-in thing. I think like being African, like you're some of the oldest human beings on the planet.
Sure.
So there's just so much life, energy, wisdom, you know, that kind of moves through you that we kind of picked up over centuries, you know, over like hundreds of thousands of years. So I can't really pinpoint where it came from because there's so much history that can pinpoint that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think it just comes from just being, it's just like, it's just a personality trait. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, like, that's not for, like, every single person who's Nigerian or every single person who is, like, whatever. It's just, there's certain groups that are known for things.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
And it's not, like, being racist. It's not being, like, for some reason, like, all the good qualities aren't racist sometimes. like, for example, the one about being Asian, you're really good at math. Right, when people told me that, oh, like, you're Asian, you must be good at math. I was like, yeah, sick. I'm glad you think that about me. Like, I don't care that you think about that. I mean, like, you see me as good at math, or like, you know.
Okay, one stereotype that I learned actually that I find to be very impressive is Filipinos can sing really well.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm decent.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Filipinos can sing. I see so many of y'all, like, the videos of, like, the little kids just, like, singing like Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, I'm not like that, but...
And, like, karaoke is, like, a big part of the culture.
Yeah. Oh, I remember... So there used to be karaoke at every family gathering that I went to. That's hilarious they say that. And, like, everyone would always be singing. And it's, like, old school karaoke mic, you know, where it's, like... the mic has like numbers on it, and like you could type in the song and it pops up on the TV.
Oh, nice.
But you hold it, it's just a weird mic. Like, who sings out of a karaoke mic that has like just a whole like buttons?
That.
You remember those? Mm-hmm. And every single time I'd only sing Hey Jude.
The easiest one.
The easiest one. But like, that was my song. And always the whole Filipino people were like, oh yeah, Nathan's gonna sing Hey Jude today. You know? Like, every family gathering, you're like, you up? And I'm like, yeah, let's go. No other song. That's it.
That's so funny. But I love that though. Like, it's such a great way to just bring the family together in a wholesome ass way. Yeah. Like, that's so cute. I love that.
We've been doing it with friends out here.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's been it's very entertaining, and especially with like a group who doesn't judge at all. You know, like, your friends, like, yo, like, you know, like, if you did that in elementary school or something and you're not that good, you know, some kids gonna make fun of you.
Yeah.
Like, you think you could sing or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, being around a super supportive group of friends who just accepts you who you are, and you're just like, oh, you're here to have a good time, regardless if you're good or not. Like, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's just about having a good time.
Yeah.
It's almost like dancing. Like, when you go to like a party or a club, like, no one's expected to be a professional. Like, just dance. It's cool.
Like, no one's judging your bad dancing, though. Like, are you having a good time? Like, be yourself, man.
Yeah.
Jump around, do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I love that.
It's hard to get out of your own head there, because like you always think.
What, with singing?
No, like with anything, like with dancing or singing, you always feel like someone's judging you when like everyone's just judging themselves. It's like. It's like, no one's looking, man.
No one's looking. I don't know. I've had to like tell myself that more recently, because like I feel like sometimes when I'm not like, I don't know, whether I'm like procrastinating or I didn't get something done or like, I don't know, maybe I let somebody down in some way or something like that. Like, sometimes I revert to like being a kid who feels like they're about to get in trouble.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh my God, like, I
Tell me more.
fucked up. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, I should have done, and I'd be so hard on myself. And then I have to remind myself, like, girl, no one's coming for you. Like, you're not about to get in trouble. You're fine. Like, just, you know,
the only other part of that, it's like, you know what you did.
Yeah.
You know what you did.
Yeah.
And like, you can criticize yourself from that. Like, if you let someone down, you're like, fuck, I let that person down. Like I don't want to be that type of person who lets someone down.
Yes, you can criticize yourself for that.
Yeah.
But the best thing that you can do is just like rectify the situation. Like, hey, sorry, I missed our meeting. You know, let's reschedule. Let's take a rain check. You know, and then
move on.
Move the fuck on. I'm not about to sit here and beat myself.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
No.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem healthy to me. Obviously, like, be constructive, and, like, let yourself know, like, hey, this isn't you, whatever.
Yeah.
But the best thing that you can do is do whatever you can that's within your control to rectify the situation.
Yeah.
And then stop beating yourself up, like, immediately. Because now you're just fucking up your self-esteem. You're going to let that drag into, like, yeah.
What are you most excited for in your life right now? You got all these cool things going on, like, in projects, and it's hard to keep up, you know? And I'm just like, what is Judy doing? Like, she's such a mystery.
I love that. Honestly, I'm very happy that you said that. Honestly, I'm just mostly excited for just being in my creative bag, like I really
creative bag.
Yeah, everything creative.
Yeah.
Projects, like collaborating.
Doing that full time and making a living off like creativity would be so cool. Like, it just sounds awesome.
Right. Yeah. Like being that'd be great.
Yeah.
And it's not easy for sure, but that has been, I haven't done as much of it for the past like couple of years that I would like to.
Yeah.
Because of other life priorities and things.
Sure.
It's not that I feel like unfulfilled, because like we were saying, like it's all creativity that's being channeled through like different mediums and stuff like that. But that's one thing that I am
Which
excited.
medium do you want to focus most on?
Art,
yeah,
for sure. And I also just really want.
I didn't even know you did art until Kev was like, oh yeah, this is Judy's piece, and I was like, what? That's so sick.
It's so funny. I gotta show you some stuff. But,
yeah, please.
Yeah, I've been doing, this is what brought me out here.
Yeah,
some more art, and then also just more building community. Like,
that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that was, I loved that. Like, I still love it. That was like, I was always hosting something. I was always bringing people together, and that really brought me so much life fulfillment.
Yeah. One thing I realized was like you can have control of the community. Like, you could start the get together. You could invite these people here, and like, it doesn't need to just be like, waiting around and be like, oh, there's this event. You create the event. You do the thing.
Create the event.
Because all these events that you see around LA, like,
people,
someone decided to do it.
Yeah, that's all it
they
is.
They sent a mass email out.
Yeah,
and
got
like,
a venue. Made it happen. And like, I always thought like, oh yeah, like, they just happen out here. No, someone decides. You could decide too. Absolutely.
And it's so important. Like, I feel like I really have like friends and community out here that support me and like do the things and have the same interests, and like anyone could find their like little tribe.
Exactly. I've done it before, and it's just such a beautiful thing to like create those spaces for people.
You've had some events?
Yeah, absolutely.
How was that experience?
Nice.
Yeah,
super fulfilling. Like, I've hosted retreats, Joshua Tree, Mexico, was a part of a retreat in Nicaragua. I hosted a couple exotic fruit tastings.
That's sick. You just decide to pick a place and everyone meets there and they do the thing?
That's pretty much like the gist of it, but obviously there's like a lot of different logistics and things, because like, especially when you're outside of the country, you want to be extremely sure of everything that's going on, because people kind of trust you to.
So you need to make sure your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed.
Yeah, so it's a little bit more like precise, and there's a lot of things that go into it, forms and blah, blah, all that kind of stuff. But like
legalizations and tedious shit.
Yeah, but it's honestly one of my favorite things to do. I've always been that girl. Like, even as a kid, I was the one who's bringing all my friends together. Like, my house was HQ,
HQ, let's go.
So it's always been that. Like, my parents have been leaders in their community and my like it's just kind of, it's a very natural thing to be like, okay, how is this gonna go? And like I go to like events for like brands and stuff. I'm sure you've been to like different like brand launches and stuff. And you'll go there and everyone's looking really good. And not doing a damn thing. You know, people are just standing there.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah. There's no activity.
Yeah, there might be a DJ. There's literally nothing to do.
I hate those events.
Yeah. And it's, like, so easy to, like, to offer people more than just that, you know? And, like,
even the one that you and Kev put together for the first art show. With, like, you put all the mats out and stuff and the poetry night.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
right?
That was sick, you know?
That was dope.
Because, like, without that, without the food, too, and everything like that, people are just standing around having a drink in an art gallery. Like, that kind of... I remember that more than the art itself. Like, that was the experience. And then also, now you have something that everyone got to experience together. Because, like, if you're in an art gallery, everyone's experiencing each different thing separately from each other. Just standing around. Like, that one specific, like, experience...
Brought everybody together.
And then they could talk about it. And then everyone can bond. Oh, hey, do you remember that art show that, like, Jude and Kev did over there? Like, you know? Like, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes it more memorable, too. Like, together.
Yeah. And that energy is something that, like, really just, like, it gives me a lot of energy personally. Just being able to create those spaces, because without that, like, people really don't do much. Like, people are just on the internet. People are, you know, so definitely want to start approaching that a lot more. And also just, like, working with brands. At this point, I feel like I'd be doing them a favor. You know, like, y'all need help. Y'all are not reaching people like you think you are.
The people that you want to reach. You know, like, for example, you have like a dedicate. There's I had this guy on, his name is Jameson, and he helped build Under Armour from the ground up for branding, Lululemon, Melon hats, like all these big companies. And he was like, yo, the biggest thing I learned is, like, there's a difference between an influencer and someone who's influential. And the example he used was, like, someone who has millions of followers on Instagram, right, because they're entertaining or something like that, versus a gym owner, right, who's affecting lives of 40, 50 people, like, deeply.
Yeah,
who's
physically.
Like, do I give 20 hats out to this person online who has, like, a massive following, but it's not, like, very deep, versus, like, someone, like, if I have a trainer or a coach or someone who I'm close with and bought their program, like, and they have, like, a dope hat, like, I'm gonna buy their hat. You know, like, there's a difference.
There's a huge difference. Yeah, there's this. I go to a Pilates class, and the instructor, she sells her own T-shirts, and you can tell that, like, a lot of the people in that class have been in the class for years, and the T-shirts that she sells, like, these people are wearing them to every class. She has, like, people, like, wearing her T-shirts now. Like, those people, it's not just, like, oh, a T-shirt that they bought from a random thing online and, like, it's just gonna sit in a pile. Like, that's their favorite shirt that they wear multiple times a week. And, you know, they're talking about it any chance they get. And all that kind of stuff. Like, that's a much bigger impact.
Way bigger. Yeah. So, like, these brands, like, they might not be doing it the right way. Gotta find influential people.
Yeah, and just, like, create an experience. Like, you know, a lot of times, like, we'll go to these events and you see people, and then that's it. You see people, you go home. There's no way to connect. Like, people need help.
Yeah, and it's some people feel awkward. Like, hey, can I get your information?
Like,
can I get your number?
We need something to bring us together. Otherwise, we get there, we stand around, we might have a good time with our little clique that we came in with, but we're not making those connections. And that's kind of what's missing from just the I don't know if you would call it entertainment, but the event space.
In whatever medium.
Yeah,
right?
just community, being outside.
Yeah.
Like there's a lack of like groundedness, I feel. And
yeah, I can feel that in I go to a lot of fitness events, and like when I show up, I'm usually around like the 3 or 4 people I know, and then like I have to make a very hard effort to do something, you know, unless the one thing that is beneficial if you're doing like a workout event together, like you get paired up with someone who you don't know. Now you have that shared experience of working out together for 30 minutes hard or 45 minutes hard. You're like, oh, that was fun. It was nice going.
What's your name?
Yeah, what's your name?
Yeah.
And then you get into it. Like, I don't know, what events are you talking about? Just like all the self-love events? Self-care?
Yeah, and it's across the board, like self-care, just all the stuff, you know,
all
like
things.
whatever it is that you're interested in.
Yeah.
The food stuff, the wellness stuff, the fitness stuff. Yeah. The clothing stuff, the fashion stuff,
all the things.
Yeah, all the things. So I'm like wanting to explore that more. I'm telling you, I was like in it for sure, but like I definitely, it goes back to the self-care thing for sure. Like I put myself first a lot. So if that means that I have to not do something in order to make sure that I'm good, like I will do that. So like
I think that's super important that a lot of people don't have.
Yeah.
Because they care so much about like what others view them as.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you don't want to let people down.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you promise to do something, but you know, like I can't do it, or also it's gonna like diminish my health right now. Like I'm only gonna get a couple hours of sleep, or it's hard to just choose yourself in those instances.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it's like the longer you fight it, the longer it's gonna take for you to actually like get back to where it is that you want to be.
Facts.
You know, like you're not actually resting if you're avoiding it. You're not actually, you know. So it was like a fight, you know, for a second.
Inner battle.
Yeah, an inner battle, and then I was like, okay, let it go. Let it go.
I won.
Yeah. Yeah, focus on other things. Do you for a second, but yeah, next year I can see it. You know.
Are you a resolution person?
Not really. Sort of, but not really. Simply because like I feel like I started a resolution with myself like every month.
Yeah, every day.
I'm always like, okay, we can't keep doing that. Like, let's find a better way to do this. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, resolutions are cool. I'm not saying I don't have any, but it's not like this big, huge,
massive thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back to events. I saw this girl who I follow. She had like a resolution party or event where they wrote down all the resolutions, did all these things, and I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like I respect that. Getting together with friends and kind of just like they did. What's it called? The vision boards.
I did that for my birthday.
Oh yeah. That's sick.
Yeah, it was cute.
How do you come up with just deciding to do a vision board with friends? Like that's crazy.
That's a good question.
It's pretty intimate too.
Yeah, it is intimate. It was super intimate, but like, you know, it was all my good friends.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just really wanted to be low key. I'm like, what can I do in the house? And it was last minute, so it couldn't be like a really big thing. And I never actually made a vision board before. But I talked to my friend about it, and she has like this huge collection of magazines, and
sick.
all the pieces are just coming together. So it just kind of happened naturally, which is great.
Magazines, I don't think they'll be around for much longer.
Right? I don't know. I mean, they're still like at places like the dealership and airports and dentist office and things.
Yeah, but magazines used to be a thing, like subscriptions.
Yeah,
same with newspapers, you know?
Yeah.
Like I only know one person who gets newspapers still.
I don't think I know anyone who gets newspapers.
Yeah. Like still at their driveway. They walk outside. You know, movies be changing because
there's news on there.
Yeah, there is. You know, you always saw the in movies or TV shows, you go outside, you pick up the paper, you walk inside, and they make a scene out of it. Yeah. That shit don't exist anymore. That's what the younger generations, they're not going to know Nickelodeon, and they're not going to know about newspaper.
Yeah, newspapers or magazines.
Yeah, like, I mean,
they barely
I think
even know how to read these days.
Ah, that part. Yeah. Yeah. I'm still pretty good at... I'm still pretty good at cursive. Like,
nice.
But, like, I realized, 4 or 5 years ago, they took it off the curriculum.
Really?
Yeah. So
wow, so it's not...
Cursive is about to be extinct.
We don't gotta... I remember when they were telling us, like, when you grow up, everybody uses cursive.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Zero.
I mean, I never really got good at it.
I love it.
I used to have to take,
It is like an art. It's like, like nice loops.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's cute.
But, yeah. Calligraphy is never really... I have, like, a real artist handwriting. It's, like, barely legible for the most part.
Is that a real artist handwriting?
Yeah, or, like, doctor's handwriting.
Okay.
You know? How they just be, like, scribbling.
Yeah.
That's how it goes for the most part. I can get it neat for, like, maybe 4 words, and then it just starts to get... It just does its own thing.
It's not a resolution, but something that I want to get better at this year for sure is writing letters in cursive, like handwritten letters, because there was that Jesse Itzler guy. He used to write hand letters to all the people that he wanted investments for his businesses, and that was the only responses he got were from the handwritten letters.
Handwritten letters go off.
And it's
They're
like,
great.
you're taking the time. Like, emails are easy. Text messages is easy. Like, this dude spent time to get a stamp.
Yeah, you gotta get a stamp.
Envelope.
You gotta go to the post office.
And wrote that shit in pencil or in pen and wrote it in fancy letters.
You gotta get good paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very beautiful gesture. Yeah. I'd love to get back into writing on paper letters for people. My parents love that so much. You know, they're so sentimental. But
yeah. My mom's just like, all I want is a card. I don't want anything.
Right.
Just write me some shit.
Just write something really sweet. Like, my mom's always bringing up letters that I've written. I'm just like, girl.
Also stuff like in public, like, remember when you said this? I was like, yeah, wrong time, Ma. Love you. Wrong time.
Right. No, my mom speaks in Igbo, so she stays spilling tea in public.
What's Igbo?
That's the language that we speak in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you born there?
Yeah.
Okay. When did you come to the States?
I was a baby.
Okay.
I was like a year old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you speak Igbo too?
I try.
You try.
I try.
So not really.
I'm like, I think I have like the equivalent of like maybe like a 6-year-old.
Okay.
Vocabulary.
6-year-olds understand
I can
a good amount of
express
things.
my needs. Okay. You know, but like
you could order food, maybe.
Yeah, I can order food.
Oh, that's slightly above 6th grade. It's at least like high school level.
Really? No. I think it's like it's elementary. For
sorry, you said 6-year-old.
Yeah, 6-year-old.
I'm thinking 6th grader.
No.
Okay,
no.
6th grader is like probably where you're at.
No, 6-year-old.
No, I don't think a 6-year-old could order his own food. Their own food.
Yeah,
you think they can?
Yeah. A 6-year-old can order their own food, but a 6-year-old cannot in depth tell you exactly how they're feeling and how someone made them feel and like their day from start to finish. Like, a 6-year-old like about to sit here and do that.
So your mom doesn't get to know how you feel during your day? And...
Not in Igbo.
Not in Igbo?
But she knows like when I'm hungry or sleepy or tired or like I want to go here or let's do this or you know, that kind of stuff, but not like, oh, this happened and this person said that to me and I was like blah 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 blah. Like I can't do all that.
I don't
I can understand it though.
I don't know if it's real because I've never experienced it, but like from what I understand with people who speak multiple languages, like the emotion is different with the different language. Like you could say the same thing or tell the story a certain way, but in a different language, and it's more I don't know, they have more sentimentals in one way or than the other, or more emotion in one way than the other.
Yeah, I could see that. The English language, I feel like different languages have different personalities.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
English
always
is
think my mom's
very
mad
proper.
because she speaks Vietnamese and Chinese, and they just like kind of yell at each
they
other.
be yelling.
I was like, yo, what do you guys? Calm down. What do you mean, calm down? Like, we're just talking. And I was like, all right, sorry.
Yo, it's so funny. My mom was loud too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely does have a different personality for sure, which I appreciate because, like, I feel like that makes me a little different. Because I don't think fully. Cause, I mean, obviously I have the accent and, like, I've lived here most of my life, but there are parts of, like, my brain chemistry that isn't just, like, 100% American. The way that I process and think and, like, view the world is from maybe not 100%, but definitely from an African perspective, you know?
Yeah, I mean, even our conversations today, like, I've never even thought about some of the things that you brought up in terms of just the regular daily life things. Or it's like, yo, that's an interesting perspective.
Yeah. And also I think it has to do with traveling too. Like a lot of the ways that I view things is like from a worldview. Like I don't view things.
Like I feel like a lot of people born in the US don't have that worldview. Like I have a glimpse of it just because I started traveling. Like I thought my small hometown in central California was the only thing that existed in the world. Like I just lived in a relatively nice house, went to good school, like people had decent jobs, like that was it.
So you think, oh, people are like this, people are like that.
Yeah.
Why this? Why? Like you have your answers are very specific to your environment. Yeah. So I don't know. Definitely helped me like share different perspectives, or like, you know, just understand things from different angles and stuff like that. You know, and I try to like keep it balanced because sometimes you could be empathetic to a fault, you know, and sometimes like when you understand different people's like struggles and like, you know, just ways that different people can live, like it's hard to, sometimes you need to remember to separate yourself from people's experiences. You know, like just because these people are suffering doesn't mean that you're suffering. You know, just because you know that this is going on here doesn't mean that it's happening to you right now.
That's one thing that I had a difficult thing with the political stuff in Israel. Like people who are associated with them culturally, but like they have no family there, they have no whatever, but they're massively dramatically affected by it. Sometimes I'm just like, whoa, that's kind of interesting. Like you have no family there. You know what I'm getting at? Yeah,
absolutely.
It's not really affecting you objectively.
You know, objectively, but they take on other people's suffering. Because you're aware,
which is shitty. And like sometimes you can be viewed as a bad person by not suffering with them, but like you can't do anything about it. You know. You literally can't do anything about it. So you might as well just live your best life and be the best person you could be, back to self-love and like just helping your community grow, right? And become better.
It's that ripple effect.
What's your, I guess, advice to people wanting to get into the health space? Like, because like there's a lot of unhealthy people in the world who don't, like for me, I'm not even educated on like a lot of the things that you do in terms of just like the cooking aspect or like certain greens and all the juices and all that. Like where do they start?
Where would they start?
Reading that article, probably.
Reading that article. Honestly, even though we talk so much about fasting and like all that, I feel fasting is great. I feel like it's like a really great start. Really great start. Just eliminate. And then take a step back so you can reevaluate, you know.
That is good.
I think that's a great start. Just start fasting. Because a lot of times, like, because it's free. You know? Like, a lot of times you can't change your diet. A lot of times you can't.
Fasting and breathing are free. There you go.
You can't go buy that healthy thing that you want to go buy. You can't, you know, you still live in that food desert, you know? But what you can do is give your body a break from that stuff. You know? So that's always a good start.
That's a great start.
Let's
go. Judy, we almost did 3 hours.
Oh, snap. Okay. Look at us.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you. Where can everyone find you?
I'm on Instagram. You can follow me on my Instagram. It's Adaobi. That's my Nigerian name. It's spelled...
I was always interested. Every time I was like, Judie Mozie, she doesn't have an Instagram. Where is it?
Yeah, I know. I changed it like earlier this year.
It's more artsy that way.
Yeah, it just it fits for the era that I'm in right now. But yeah, it's Adaobi, but it's spelled Adaobi.o. So it's my name in between two O's.
Nice. And then what about the Cosmic Kichin?
Cosmic Kichin.
Is are you gonna be open up for business anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always down to start a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, so it's the page is still up. I can, you know, all the links are on there. So, you know, we're still inviting opportunities, that's for sure. But all of that stuff is on my main page. I also have Self-Care Warfare on my main page, which is like my wellness, like where I put all my wellness stuff, and all of the community things I'm going to be embarking on in the next year. Yeah, that'll all be on there as well.
I gotta come. I want to check out a few.
Yes, please. Like, one thing I'm really excited, I want to do a camping trip in the beginning of the spring.
That'd be sick. It's hard to get a lot of people to go, like with their schedules and everything.
Yeah, so I'm trying to just do it as in advance as I can to get people ready. But yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Sick.
It's gonna be fun.
And once all that comes up, we'll have you on again.
Woo!
Sick. Judie Mozie, everybody. Bye.
All right, peace out.